All right, welcome everyone. Is your old buddy Bear Pit? I'm gonna make sure I'm in the right spot.
Yeah,
Joined,
yeah.
joined as always
The
with
Tom.
Chris,
I see the
Snoochie
Tom.
Boochies, Snarky Hoochies. God, it feels like this is the first time we've actually done a Shorts and Jorts in like probably since February, where we didn't have a guest. But well, we,
Um.
we actually have
Yeah.
two
No, we
guests
have.
with us right now, right, Chris?
Oh, yeah, we have $50 worth of action figures with me. There are two guests. People, I'm Tila, and that's the end of that because that's terrible. Nope. I immediately reject my premise. Oh God. I'm actually really excited to talk about He-Man tonight, Tom.
Yeah. Little bit of behind the scenes stuff for everyone. This has been like a super packed week for me. Thankfully, like, basically the project that I have been spending the past 2 weeks working on. Literally every moment that I wasn't playing Final Fantasy 14, I was working on this. That project ended today. When we had some tech issues, which were fun. But it went off about as good as we could have hoped, and our team went and took us for sangria and steaks afterwards,
Ooh.
which was
Oh, wow, my favorite salt and pepper cover band, Sangria and Steaks.
I tell you, if you want like one piece of like general life advice, work for a place where after a successful meeting, they take you for sangria and steaks. It was
Yeah.
quite damn good.
I made that mistake. Not for much longer, thankfully.
So normally, when we do one of these podcasts, I try and go in, do a deep dive, find out stuff about this that you may not know, scour forums from 2003, try and find the hot facts that you can't find from a cursory Wikipedia search. That will not be happening this time. My tired ass got home, slept for 2 hours, watched 3 episodes of He-Man, and then Wikipedia the rest of them. So Chris is gonna be doing the majority of. Now Chris has the power to explain the majority
I
of
have
this.
the podcast. Yeah, this is one of the rare occasions where I was the fan of the thing and Kevin Smith came along for a change. Usually it's, I'm here because Kevin Smith,
Hmm.
outside of like CW's The Flash. But I think He-Man is the first thing I liked as a kid by choice, you know?
Hmm.
Like one of those things where yeah, like I was the age for He-Man being a thing.
I think it's like the first like actual toy you remember asking your parents for.
Yeah.
For
Oh, for
for
sure.
me for me I want to say that was Ninja Turtles. I remember like distinctly asking my parents to get a Donatello action
my
figure.
my first Ninja Turtle was Leonardo. Was it Leonardo? It was Leonardo, yeah, because I'm a nerd. But best it's I remember like like growing up and like that was like the thing I got into a whole bunch because big burly man with sword, which was weird because like after like that, I was hard turned off on fantasy for about 20 years, just
Mm.
until like I started reading The Witcher and started playing WoW. But like that was like some of my earliest memories were just like He-Man themed birthday parties. There's a photo of me somewhere, and like like the role playing gear you get these days, like a Thor hammer or a like a Spider-Man mask, whatever.
Real quick aside before we
Yeah,
continue on that, the fucking production value on those things has skyrocketed. I look at the shit
yeah,
kids get
yeah,
today
right.
for Halloween costumes, and it's like, yo, I would have fucking stabbed someone for this, and they can stab someone for this because they're giving them fucking like they're giving them actual fucking like swords that
Yeah,
like splinter off and electrify actual Fortnite weapons. I'm like, god damn.
yeah. God, I would have killed for a Nerf Fortnite gun as a child, but yeah, I had like a fucking mine was a plastic chest with and fake muscles, and that is not a goof. I'm trying to like find that fucking photo, but it's a physical photo, so God knows where it is in my apartment or possibly my mom's place. I don't know.
Mhm.
Uh, but yeah, I actually, oh God, I'm not sure. I actually sold a bunch of my He-Man stuff recently just because like it was sitting in my mom's house and she sold the house and I don't have the space for it. Whereas
Mhm.
my Transformers are still with me. Are they? Did I sell the He-Man? I think I sold the He-Man.
you'd
Yeah.
make Schmendrick proud.
Yeah, well, it's like most they're like I did not take care of my toys as a kid. I played with them, so like they're missing pieces and whatnot. I think they're mostly gone. I can't tell. Maybe living room, who knows? Anyway, but that was a thing, and like I wasn't like I'm not one of those dudes who gatekeeps. I stopped giving a shit once I discovered Ninja Turtles and comic books. Came back for that 2000 and what was it? The revival, like 1999. There
I
was a
want to
brief
say,
He-Man the
yeah.
Master Universe was 19. Let's see. I want to say it was because 83 was the first one. 2002.
So that's actually one of the things that always kind of stopped me with He-Man from getting super into it was I always felt like there were like 4 shows that I kept confusing with each other. And that's entirely a fault of like the animation studios at the time just reused assets all over the fucking place.
Yeah. To be fair, like so there was OG He-Man, which was the Masters Universe. Then there was a short-lived Space He-Man that no one cares about because it was bad. Then a revival in 2002 on Cartoon Network. It was part Toonami. It lasted 2 seasons. And then most recently, Masters Universe Revelations. Obviously, it's also She-Ra, but we're not gonna talk about that because that's a whole different like bowl game.
Okay,
She-Ra good, but
I just looked it up. I found what I always confused them with: the fucking Herculoids.
oh yeah, huge difference. I think by 20 years.
Yeah, but they like it's the same. It's like literally the same faces, and this like same haircut. Like
it's because what's his face? So OG He-Man had a lot of like Jack Kirby comic book influence on that, and then the dude who did all the Hanna-Barbera stuff, whose name escapes me, also worked in comics. So that weird like put on the comics Chris hat and just the weird overlay. But yeah, so I remember like being on Twitter when they announced like ooh, a semi-adult revival of Masters Universe with Kevin Smith, and I was like, that's not going to be good. I was a bit skeptical at first because as this podcast shows, Kevin Smith kind of fell off for a few years and/or decades, depending on who you ask.
You just imagine He-Man coming in, and by the way, I completely forgot to give you that GIF. To use for tonight, but I just imagine He-Man coming in and going, "I love the pussy."
Right, yeah, right. Like they're like, oh yeah, we got like Mark Hamill, which okay, Mark Hamill, good track record, and Sarah Michelle Gellar, okay, that's 2 for 2. But also Jason Mewes is gonna be in it. And I'm like, oh, that's where things are gonna go downhill. Spoilers by the way, Jason Mewes has like 1 line this entire show.
He plays a stinky boy and immediately gets his shit rocked.
He has 2 lines and he never comes back. Fun nerd fact though, the Muse's character, this is not a goof, Stinktor, was made into toy in the early 80s, didn't nourish it up in the show, so this is technically his first appearance in animated media. Yeah.
Actually, yeah, let's talk about this cast for a minute.
Yeah, this cast rules.
And yeah. So that was like the first thing when I looked this up. I'm like, okay, who I'm like, that voice sounds familiar, but did they get Alan Oppenheimer as? Yeah, they got Alan Oppenheimer for like 2 lines, and oh man, yeah.
So it's Chris Wood as the aforementioned He-Man, Tiffany Smith as Andrea, who's a new character. Oh, just quite a new character. Sarah Michelle Gellar as Tila, Mark Hamill as Skeletor, Liam Cunningham as Man of Arms, Alicia Silverstone as He-Man's mom, Griffin Newman as Orko, Kevin Conroy as Merman, Tony Todd as Scarecrow,
boy,
Justin Long as Roboto, which I had no idea. Justin Long, Stephen Root as Cringer, Phil Lamar as Hero, Henry Rollins as Triclops.
Henry fucking Rollins.
Rules, by the way. Spoilers.
As like the best tertiary villain in like
Kevin
in the fucking series, like
Kevin Michael Richardson as Beastman, Dietrich Balder as Trapjaw, Dennis Halsbert as King Grayskull, and then with appearances by D. Bradley Breaker, Danny Trejo, Fred Tescore, Jay Tavera, and Method Man.
And fucking Method Man.
Right. So like Kevin's like Netflix handed Kevin Smith a lot of money as like have fun. I mean his daughter's in it too. She is Lena, who the hell is that?
I think she was in maybe one. But like Also, noted Kevin Smith is Goat Man and Pig Boy.
Which, no, you know what? Listen, dude likes He-Man. Wants to. I'm still trying to figure out who this character is. Oh, okay, she was. Oh, okay, so Kevin Smith's daughter was like briefly in He-Man heaven.
Oh, okay.
They go to heaven, by the way, in the show. It's weird. Pretending.
Yeah. So I kind of got like busted with the. So like I said, time for me was a little rough this week. I didn't get a chance to like really give it a proper watch, being that like I can show y'all the sleep tracker from my Fitbit, and there is not a number higher than 3 until today.
Oof.
Yeah. Um, hey, that's what happens when you both have to when like I have to do stuff in 14 to be able to
You have to, he says.
No, I actually fucking do. If we wanna hit week 1 rating, I unfortunately have to have shit done by a certain time.
I mean, I tease, but I already hit the first 14 levels in new season Fortnite. It drops Sunday, so.
Also like early access just ended and proper release happened now. So the queue times for that game, which were already long to begin with, just doubled. So
Yeah.
I had to get in as much as I could before the normies busted in. So
the two different status I've seen for 14 is either I could have cleared the story for the expansion, or I can't log in right now.
So
which isn't
like,
really. Yeah.
It's interesting. So and I feel I don't want to rip on the dev team for this because they anticipated this happening, and unfortunately COVID fucked them really hard on basically like they had areas for new servers provisioned, work preset on them, and then COVID literally stopped them from flying out engineers and IT to like do the proper provisioning for it. Like they literally could not pay enough money to like fly people out for this. So they were kind of like, well, we have to wait we basically have to wait until probably 2022 to like actually utilize those servers.
That is
and their advertisement of the game worked too well. A lot more people showed up for this than anticipated, and a lot more people came back for this game than anticipated.
Right.
And
I mean, it's the big amount new content rush.
Yeah.
Not to mention whoever's still playing the game for free.
Yeah, and they were anticipating a lot. Like they tried to get ahead of this, and it was just like exponentially greater of a problem than they anticipated. I feel bad for the dev team. They really want to make this like they're already doing stuff to like rectify the situation by like basically giving people the first 2 weeks of like they're giving players 2 free weeks of playtime like reimbursed. So your sub money basically got returned or didn't get charged for that first 2 weeks. But yeah, so like once you actually got into the game, it ran fine. I compare this to their third expansion, Stormblood, which came out in 2017. And they kind of rushed it out a little bit, and while people could get in with only about a 20-minute wait, server problems actually stopped people from being able to progress the game. Like they would be kicked out of cutscenes and have to like rewatch a 20-minute cutscene, get kicked out 15 minutes in and have to rewatch it. It ended up being a huge meme. A lot of people weren't happy about it, so they're like, we don't want to have this problem again. So when you actually get in, you have no problem. Like there's no lag, there's no issues. Disconnects are very rare, but the price of that is a long wait to get in. So what I actually knew, myself included, once we got in, if we wanted to do something like take an hour nap, the game will kick you out after 30 minutes of inactivity. So like it got to a point where I'm like, I need to take an hour nap or I'm going to die. So there are like if you play as a bard, you can actually like there's like an in-game keyboard piano that you can use to basically play music that you compose. There are also MIDI players that will play music, like automatically play music for you. and one of them happens to have a loop feature. So what people are doing who basically want to take an hour to cook and then go back without logging out and having to wait 2 hours to get back in, they'll go into their homes in game, uh, take out their harp, and play the same song looped for the amount of time that they have to do something, because the game won't kick you out if you're doing actions. It's modern, modern problems require modern solutions. But
Right.
going back to all that, between that and just putting a lot of time into work, like normally I like to be 5 steps ahead of everything. Here I got
Right.
like no sleep basically no
Ooh.
sleep this week, and
Ooh.
I can correct that now that our biggest presentation of the year is done. But yeah, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna I message Chris. I'm like, I'm gonna let you do the majority of the talking today on Shorts and Jorts.
Excellent. But yeah, no, work has sucked for me because this job sucks, and they're trying to see how much work they how much work two people could do for a single dude before it breaks me. Luckily, I just my new job, which should start in January, I cleared a background check, so I'm gonna email them tomorrow and see if I need to do anything else to speed this thing up, because I really want to tell this current job to go fuck themselves super fast.
Yep.
Um, Aside from that, it's been Fortnite, Amanda stuff, and here we are now. Oh, and actually rewatching He-Man. I rewatched the first episodes, watched the last 5, and then the Masters of the Revelation, Masters of the Universe Revelations, which is the after show, even though it's only like 2 of them after each chunk of the show. And it's only like 25 minutes long. It's mostly just like, hey, you're a voice actor, I'm Kevin Smith. Hey, you're a voice actor, I'm Kevin Smith. Uh right. So I don't recall like when this was announced, but I remember it being a threat for a long time. I remember actually not too long ago, I was running back with someone from the show, John, aka Neil Ivan Gaming, and that She-Ra remake came out, was it a year or two? Ended like a year or two ago,
Something
and that
like
was
that. Yeah.
yeah, very well received, very good. And I was like, yeah, I wonder like why they're gonna go and try to go like back to old school He-Man, because like it's like you look at like the 80s like properties, like Ninja Turtles never went away really, Transformers never really went away, like those are the big two. They keep
Ironically
on trying
enough,
to make
I think the Ninja Turtle stuff they're doing now is even better than like a lot of the stuff we grew up with. It's pretty
I mean it's
crazy.
yeah, but like but the thing is like I'd say the movies are better then versus now.
Oh yeah.
By fact,
Yeah.
yeah, like it's like there's always this like Turtles and Transformers have been like those two 80s properties that kind of like had staying power and didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Then like in a distant third is like GI Joe and then He-Man. I mean, like GI Joe's
I'm
is a hard sell, given
yeah. It definitely was something that could only exist in like the fucking Bush senior and Reagan era.
right, yeah,
Uh
like pro-military cartoon show, yeah.
yeah.
Even
Slash
though they
Dwayne the Rock Johnson franchise.
right, he only appeared in one of those movies though,
He did.
the
I forgot
best
about
one.
that.
He played Robok. It was very good, actually.
I remember a lot of people being
Anyways,
like the guy from Snake Eyes being in fucking Squid Game.
I keep up again. We got a Snake Eyes movie this year, which
Right?
tanked
Yep.
apparently.
Yep.
And I'm the dude who bought the Snake Eyes skin in Fortnite.
I didn't even know they had a Snake Eyes skin in Fortnite.
Yeah, no one cares.
We're
Me and
gonna
like
find out about it soon, but
yes, me and 10 other people cared, but um, yeah. So like He-Man was like that. I remember like He-Man dying, well, not dying, but like going away, and then it was like became back like in the early 2000s. All these 80s properties came back in like comic format. Sand Turtles, because again, never really went away, but like GI Joe got a revival, Transformers got a revival, He-Man got a revival, and then He-Man kind of stuck around on and off because I think DC has the rights to the comics now. So like we got like weird like Injustice versus Masters Universe, like a weird multiverse Masters Universe type of thing. But it's pretty dormant and like minus like Mattel every so often banging out like retro great action figures. Whoa, until Kevin Smith threatened to make a new show, and I was like, oh, this like like who wants this? He's like, and the typical, oh, it's just gonna for the fans, show for the fans who grew up on this stuff. And I'm a dude who went back on grew up on the shit and didn't really care per se. And then the first trailer dropped. Honestly, the first trailer did a lot for it. It looked good. Again, that voice cast fucking rules. You put Sarah Michelle Gellar into something, I'm going to care about it. And then the first half of the season dropped this summer, and the internet, and I say the internet, I mean, man, the internet hated it.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, I just checked Twitter on a Friday morning. They're just like, oh, fuck Kevin Smith, fuck this show. It's a bait and switch, you know. It's just more fucking liberals dirt. I was like, oh, a lot of neckbeards are mad. I'm gonna like this a whole bunch. And so I watched the first 3 episodes when it first dropped on Netflix, and yeah, I really liked it. It's not a bait and switch. It's called Masters of the Universe. It's just not a He-Man. It's not it's not a 20-minute toy ad. You know, it's an actual show.
Yeah, you can
Is it
only
goofy?
really go. You can only really go so much with like the He-Man fight Skeletor, like
Right.
We forget that they turned out so many of those cartoons back in the 80s because they just didn't give a shit. They're like,
Right, yeah.
They're like, He-Man's gonna fight Skeletor, and Skeletor's gonna send, I don't know, Bear Man at him.
Love, yeah. One of the things the show does right, which I appreciate, which is, versus like the Marvel stuff, like we also have Spider-Man trailer where it's like, oh, my name is Dr. Octopus, and they might as well just go, haha, gay at him.
Yeah.
Because that's, yeah, like they play everyone straight. Like there's a dude named Merman, and no one blinks an eye. Like Triclops, Roboto, Steaktor, Scareglow, like, you know, like the Toy X executives threw like a dart at 2 words. You're either an or a man, or an O, and that's what your deal is.
And sometimes man at war, man oh war,
Right.
oh war man, man oh, or my personal favorite, man oh man, would I hit a dinger to that dilf.
Right. There's a dude called Hero, for fuck's sake.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, shout out to Phil Lamar.
Who's still like fucking nailing it, like
Yeah.
as a voice actor? Like, god damn, that man is underappreciated.
Well, I mean, like the only time they stop and like point fun is like there's a dude named Fisto, and Kevin Smith's got to be Kevin Smith.
Oh yeah.
Which I'll give it to him, you know.
There are some nice, almost subtle dick jokes in there.
Yeah.
I did particularly laugh at the mine's bigger.
Yeah. Like and that's something. It's not really that adult. Like it's not like a fucking Ren and Stimpy cartoon party show. The bad one that they all cursed in.
Which is kind of what when I hear the phrase like adult themed He-Man art, that is like the first thing I fucking envisioned.
Right. He's gonna get high and fucking curse.
I must defeat Skeletor, but first I'm gonna snort some blow and rub my dingling between some things.
Right.
I have the boner.
Right. Wait. After the last Kevin Smith animation we saw, Tom, this is where you play the clip.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, quick reminder: I have that sword of Damocles over y'all at literally all fucking time. I can play this clip. At any and every moment. And there's nothing you can fucking do about it to stop me.
Right. Yeah. This was.
Wait. Hold on. One quick.
Oh snap,
by the way,
son.
I have this
is the right guy to remind you how essential.
That ain't me talking stupid shit. That's the character Jay espousing his own dopey, unenlightened
It's odd
views.
to go
And that
from
doesn't
that
represent
to
how
like
I feel about lesbians at all.
what it actually looks
In
like.
fact, if anything, I identify with lesbians.
I have to. I can't
too
stop before
love the pussy. And
Yeah,
like
there
a
we go.
lesbian,
Just the worst. This is
Now you want to talk about the power
sure.
I have? That's my power.
Sure is not great. Right, but that's what I think that was the first time Kevin Smith did an animated thing versus He-Man, which looks the opposite of that, you know?
Oh, literally like the joke I like that popped right into my mind because I watched the first 3 episodes. And then I skipped ahead through some of the stuff in season 2, and there's a certain character where I don't want to say who, but she has abs on abs on abs, and I looked at I looked at them, and the joke from Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle popped right in my head. How was it? You know, the Holocaust, the exact opposite of that. And that's the only thing I could think of with that animation and that.
I'm going to spoil the shit out of the show. Spoilers, Evil Len becomes a JoJo's.
Uh-huh.
Which I wonder, like, if I didn't know what I knew about Kevin Smith, like, I would say that was a JoJo's reference, but no, it's just a happy little accident. Maybe the animators were in on it. It's not like he's the only dude working on the show. But, yeah, no, yeah, it is the opposite of that.
I am seeing if I can find an image.
You can actually go to our Twitter account. I posted that for the earlier tweet.
Ah, perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I was sold when which is something Sarah Michelle Gellar talks about on fucking Messy Universe Revelations. The minute they gave Tila a fucking fade, the side shade fade thingy, I was like, okay, like redhead with the shaved head, side stage head, and voiced by Buffy. Yeah, that is like primo Chris marketing.
I saw, like, you know, at the end of the first episode, she like takes the helmet off and has
right.
the long hair, and I'm like, oh, that is
right.
Tom, that is Tom stuff right there. And then I saw the undercut and the fade, and I'm like, oh
undercut.
no, that's the Tom stuff right there.
Yeah. It's just yeah, that is the thing I want. Like, it was like, all right, cool. And again, like, it was way more Henry Rollins, way less Jason Mewes. The best way to describe this, both figuratively and literally.
Okay, I have dropped a if anyone wants to see more of this glory, I have dropped a link in
yeah,
chat.
There she is. Also, like, fucking her galaxy print cape rules.
Yeah, they definitely pulled a little bit of Azrael from fucking Undertale there, and I appreciate it and I love it.
Oh, I mean, that's also like fucking, that's Jack Kirby ass Marvel. If you look at Eternity, the living embodiment of the universe, that is not a goof. That is Eternity right there.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
which
probably whatever
that itself
Toby Fox
is that is like Jack Kirby had a huge influence on original He-Man. I think he actually drew some of those comics. Like, it was either Jack Kirby or Steve Ditko. Jack Kirby. I forgot. Yeah, a lot of like, because He-Man's loosely He-Man. That there was a, back in the 80s, Messy Universe was originally supposed to be a Jack Kirby fourth world toy line. Something happened along the way, and then it became what it is, which is wild to me. Yeah, but yeah, so like that's where probably the main influence of that cape comes from, it being a throwback to Kirby's work on Marvel and everything from there. Because again, a lot of the Silver Age Marvel creators made better money in non-Marvel Marvel stuff, because page rates of comics do be like that.
Yep.
Yeah. Which is a different talk for a different day when Chris starts when I start my Hawkeye podcast. Anyway, but again, yeah, the fucking Killer Boys cast, Tony Todd, you know, the original fucking
Tony, oh my god, that man's voice could get me to do crime. Like,
right.
Crimes.
Right.
God.
He plays a dude named Scareglow, which is also like a Skeletor, but glowy. He's like radioactive Skeletor in a way.
The show gets a little darker than I anticipated.
Yeah, there is some
in a good way.
It is rated, I think, like PG on Netflix for this is
for
not a goof.
Fear.
Fear and gore are the two things. Even the gore isn't that bad. I mean, like, Skeletor gets stabbed. Prince Adam gets stabbed. A few fucking, you know, there's like some light dismemberment, a lot of cutting away, but also implied violence, which I appreciate. Because again, this could have gone full, like Castlevania is a good comparison, and I like Castlevania a whole bunch, but like, I don't want He-Man to be Castlevania, if that makes sense. Because like, it isn't. He-Man is inherently two things: goofy and gay as hell. We all know the "What's going on" video from the early internet's days, which I think they did a remake for advertising purposes.
I was about to say, I'm kind of shocked that never got referenced in show.
there was definitely like an ad that they used the modern He-Man, I say in air quotes, to with what's going on at some point.
I'm like, if anyone would, it would be Kevin Smith.
Right. But yeah, it's also Kevin Smith was like flexing his comic muscles because he has not one but two Batmans in the show.
Yeah.
Both he has, fucking Kevin Conroy, who's played Batman in a ton of things, most notably the animated series, and Dodrick Balder, who played Batman in both Batman the Brave and the Bold, and more importantly, Harley Quinn, the animated series.
I forgot he was Batman in that.
Yeah, it's second best Batman, Batman who's not, Kevin Conroy, which also makes, Mark Hamill showing up a lot better.
Yeah, and Hamill, like, at first I'm like, oh, he's just doing the Joker voice, and then I realized, oh wait, Skeletor's always been the Joker.
No, it's Mark Hamill, but like, no, Mark Hamill as Skeletor fucking rips. Like,
it's so good. You don't get
it's
the only thing with season 1 is you don't get a whole lot of it. Season 2, you get a lot of it.
You get Skelegod, which is rules actually. But yeah, no, it's definitely something not the best animation I saw this year, only because like the problematic League of Legends show exists.
True.
Which, one trans joke aside, is the better show because Riot has spent infinite dollars on that show and it shows. But something that could have been a quick cash grab, Revelations fucking slaps.
Even that though, like I'm watching it and I'm like, the animation isn't the absolute cleanest, but I kind of feel like that's more of the, when people say like, oh, I'm gonna do a throwback to, the animation of your youth. Mm-hmm. That's what I envision. That's like the little bit of jankiness that comes with it. I'm looking at that. Particularly, I remember during the first assault on Castle Grayskull, when they have like an all-terrain vehicle pull up, and you can almost see the toy marks on the tracks. I'm like, I feel like I'm Saturday morning again with the bowl.
Yeah, there's some janky CGI. There's like the season finale. I'm not, spoilers. There may be more. The show ends with a hint for next season, but who knows? We're actually getting it. But there's a bit in that final episode where He-Man comes back, and like it is real anime hours.
There are a lot of
anime
shit.
Yeah, I mean, like that 2000s He-Man show was also anime as fuck. Only just a lot more weapon twirling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure they're both animated in Korea, but like that was a little too anime. Where this is just more like anime influence, but not just like super anime. If that makes sense.
There's a term for it, like let me look it up so I know I'm not mispronouncing it.
Yeah.
I think it is Getsuga, or oh no, that's a Bleach term. There's basically a terminology meaning like over the top and grandiose animation. Like, I'll give an example. Gurren Lagann is full of, I want to say something like Setsuga or something to that effect. And this show is full of that. In just like a good way. And especially like, if your shtick is people powering up and upgrading, season 2 is like designed for you. Because that's where it gets passed around a lot.
Yeah, I mean, going back to like comics, like He-Man is just Shazam, the other Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Only instead of saying, well, he says his phrase and turns into a big boy, much like Captain Marvel says the word Shazam, and because Shazam, that's a whole different fucking thing I don't want to get into tonight because that's a whole bunch of legacy names and dumb stuff. Either way, same premise,
Mm.
Which it probably explains why I like it so much because He-Man is comic book as fuck. But like, there's literally a villain, this evil He-Man named Faker. Get it? Because he's fake.
I never would have guessed.
Get his name? You think it's a real He-Man, but he's fake.
I thought he was getting it in a lot, but then I realized his name wasn't Fucker. That probably is it, Rich. Gekiga.
Gekiga. Okay. Right, but yeah, it's yeah, I would say it's very much post anime, but not just like it's over the top in a way that like I appreciate. I mean, the whole like it's just like it's dialed to 11. My only beef is all right. So Orko's in the show, and Orko's the it's the annoying sidekick character. They're in every cartoon from the 80s.
Oh,
And
yeah.
this one we get real sad Orko hours, minus like a bit or two, and like it's fine. It's just like it's like that's the weakest thing for me. That and like the second half. So second half is good, but not as tight as the first half.
The first half definitely did more is less, especially with those first 3 episodes that I really appreciate. And then
they also
it's like,
they focus on all the characters, which is nice. It's like they list episode 1's with both with He-Man dead and Skeletor out of the picture, and you're like, how do you know he's dead? Because he's I love the name conventions of the Masters Universe shit. Because he is dead and he dies and goes to Paternia, which is He-Man heaven, because they can't call it Eternia because that's the name of the planet.
Which is funny because
right.
There's a dungeon that I've been running in 14 a lot called Praetorium, and I just kept thinking of that whenever I heard that.
Right. And then what the hell is? Hold on. What is the name of? I think
Subterria.
Subterria is the hell. Which they flat out like say is like, oh, heaven and hell, because the problem with there not being no He-Man or not being God, without there being a He-Man or a Skeletor, there's no magic in the world,
which is a really
thus
cool
causing
take. And you kind of get a little bit of like a Mad Max. You get a little bit of a Fury Road effect of like magic being this like saver thing, like water scarcity or
right,
which is nice.
Yeah.
You get some
and
get
technology
some real...
is
I like that. I actually really like that angle of
technology with Skeletor gone. A bunch of his lackeys just embraced technology and started a weird like robotic cult. Do you know how that ends? Do you know how that ends, Tom?
I read up on it, but how does that end, Chris?
Okay, so here's spoilers at the end. So obviously He-Man and Skeletor come back. There's a brief alliance, but at the end, He-Man and Skeletor have to fight forever because that's how toys and computer games work, and comic book works. So Skeletor goes to find his old minions and kick their asses for betraying him. They return, have now embraced this thing called Motherboard, which again, I love the tech thing is called Motherboard because that's a very dumb tech name. But spoiler alert, Motherboard is actually an agent of Hordak. Hordak being like the big bag of the He-Man stuff, and it ends with Hordak defeating Skeletor and infecting him with some kind of robot plague. So hopefully we get another season of this. Otherwise, that's going to be a cool ending that doesn't get follow up on.
And that could bring possibility of bringing She-Ra in.
I wonder. Yeah, that's my big question because like. She-Ra had her own standalone Netflix show. It was very good, very incredibly gay and intentionally. But now we're getting a live action She-Ra on Amazon.
Oh,
that's gonna be it's. That. Yeah, they announced that like a few months back, and I don't understand why. Because it's not an adaptation of the. Oh, it's not an adaptation of the Netflix show, which I think did pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
But like. And like it's also through the same universe. If I'm not mistaken, She-Ra's He-Man's sister.
I believe so.
Yeah. I'm a little rusty on my proper He-Man canon, and I refuse to do any research. So.
I did too much research, and at one point the names just kind of blurred together.
Right. No, it's like that. There's She-Ra, there's He-Man, and there's Hero.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not even like it's that DC thing where it's like, oh yeah, same character but then different Earths or different realities, and it's like even as someone who reads 3 to 4 comic books a week, enough's enough.
Yeah. So the nerds got mad because literally in the first season 1 of Masters of the Universe Revelations isn't really about He-Man.
Right, they kill He-Man off twice, which is funny because like during like the fucking first behind the scene like they have the show, Kevin Smith brags about that, He's like, I did it twice, ha 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 ha. Not knowing I don't think he knew how pissy nerds would get. Well, also originally the show wasn't supposed to be, have a split. It was supposed to be all 10 episodes dropping at once.
Oh, really?
But then Netflix is like, oh, we should just do breaks because like ever since Disney started doing The Mandalorian and like Amazon did The Boys weekly versus all at once, people are
I'm gonna argue definitely in favor of that. I
love it. I love it.
Because I like we can go on a brief Netflix tangent, but I remember specifically being very upset when I'm gonna compare and contrast two shows on Netflix. When they dropped House of Cards season 1, they kind of wrote the intention of binging the show into it by there's a character in it who was an alcoholic in episode 2 and did some bad shit, and they're trying to clean him up and basically turn him into a candidate for Senate. And he goes into complete sobriety, and the show gives no indication to you that he's actually struggling with his sobriety. So in about episode 10, someone basically tempts him into taking a drink, and he like takes it really quickly. And I'm like, that really seems out of character from what you've been building up these past 9 episodes. And then I realized, oh, they anticipate that you're going to be binging it, and it's not a matter of, well, we need to illustrate that he's struggling with it over the course of 9 months, because you already saw 2 hours ago in episode 2 that he was a drunk. Right.
I also like having some breather. I think that's why The Mandalorian was such a huge hit when it first dropped. Aside from it being Star Wars,
it gave people
there's also
things to talk about.
WandaVision. There was a mystery there, and like it kind of brought back water cooler TV, because like that kind of died with Game of Thrones. That was the last of appointment TV. Now now that like Disney and actually like Hulu to an extent too. I shouldn't just say it was Disney Plus. Hulu had made it like they made it appointment TV come back. Only now we have a week to watch something, and pardon me, try not to sneeze. It's like that. So I appreciate that. I get why they did it. It's just like, damn, they made a break, and the nerds just immediately turned on Kevin Smith.
Which I'll be honest. When I heard about that, that's actually what got me to like show interest in the show, because I'm one of those people that I love like hey, The Last Jedi defenders Chris and Tom here. I love nothing more than when someone builds their expectation for a piece of media into it and then subverts the hell out of it. FF7 Remake did this flawlessly. The Last Jedi did this flawlessly. So I'm fucking here for it. It's how you do meta properly.
Right. Yeah. I hate that's one thing I love about Marvel is like people make assumptions and they were wrong. Star Wars made assumptions and wrong. And like, He-Man, I thought honestly, even myself thought it was going to be like a throwback to the 80s cartoon, just like manly men, and like, just be a bunch of gay jokes and like ultra violence, and it wasn't.
And what we ended up getting was something that, like, I feel like if they had led with that, a lot of people wouldn't have watched it. So it is a little bit of a bait and switch, but I think it's for the if you're a real fan of He-Man, it begs the question: are you only a fan of the characters He-Man and Skeletor, or are you a fan of the show? Because if you compare these shows with the stuff you watched in the past, this stuff is probably better, if not like exactly the same quality. It just has a different main character focus. And like, I'm also going to drop a comparison here to Metal Gear Solid 2, where a lot of people bitched and complained about not being able to play as Snake throughout the entire game, but instead being Raiden. And so many people just didn't fucking realize that Metal Gear Solid 2 is just as much a story about Solid Snake as it is anyone. You're just not viewing Solid Snake through his eyes. You're viewing Solid Snake's journey through Raiden's eyes, which is a really cool fucking thing. And then the game gets really deep into that later on with issues of player control and trying to replicate a scenario and literally fighting against that programming of trying to be forced into a pigeon. Like, to me, it's a game I could talk about forever, because I really think it embodies the problem with sequels as a whole, as literally Raiden is fighting something called the Solid Snake training program, which is literally trying to turn him into the next Solid Snake. And I'm like, this is just a nice euphemism for how sequels try and make you redo what came before it. And this is Kojima actively rebelling against that in probably the most anticipated game of the year. So I'm a big fan of when people do stuff like this.
Right. It's also nice because it's like, it's not like he's not in the show, because between episodes 1 and 5, we constantly get He-Man doing hero shit in flashbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, like, then they, like, again, he does the thing where he's given his big eternal reward, and then he's just like, no, I have to come back and save the world again, which is cool. That he's probably murdered. But then, you know, through bullshit, we have Prince Adam doing hero shit, which is the same dude, y'all. Like, you know, it's not like it's a Clark Kent Superman thing. It's the same fucking, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And like, he's still around for like 7, those remaining 5 episodes before it's just He-Man back, big punchy.
And if, you know, big muscle T-Man is like, that's actually another thing that made me laugh about episode 1, is that people couldn't they really harp on the fact that people can't tell that Prince Adam is He-Man, which is like, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It's not like, you know, it's put on glasses where Superman go, I always see his Clark Kent. Like, there's a physical aspect to it.
Yeah, but the same fucking haircut, the same, like, and also Prince Adam isn't like a fucking twink. He's built like.
It works better in this, like, between this one and the 2000 cartoon. There's definitely a bigger, like, translation aspect. You know, he goes from being like a 4-foot skinny dude to like a 7-foot fucking barbarian.
Yeah.
We also get like Savage. We also get Hulk He-Man in episode 6, which rules.
I was about to say, if big old oiled up muscle bound He-Man is your thing, well,
what if He-Man was also the Hulk?
Savage He-Man, aka fucking inner release He-Man, full warrior He-Man, where, spoilers for season 2, Skeletor gets the Sword of Grayskull and becomes Heator or whatever.
Skelegod is what they say on the action figure box.
Okay, Skelegod,
which rules actually.
It's like it's that level of cheesy that I fucking love.
Right. They play it straight though.
Yeah, which is fantastic about it. So Prince Adam is basically like, I don't, you know, the sword is always just a conduit for my for the power that I have. Also, I have the power. Skeletor goes, what? And then, oh man, long-haired giant Hulk man comes out and just starts pounding the fucking bejesus out of everybody.
Right. Which again, fucking rules. It's yeah, it rules. It's based on like some kind of like, I hate to see adults like no animation, but like it's just like, this is based on like some like forgotten He-Man toy, like Savage He-Man, I think was the fucking title, which you really couldn't call it that because that's not a great handle. But you know, it's like he's pure coded, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's like, oh, it's what if He-Man was also the Hulk, which I'm fine with that. But again, it's cool because like, there's like, it's He-Man with some depth to it. That's what I mean by adult. Like there's you know, there's the whole premise that Teela finds out like her 4 closest friends have been lying to her about the whole He-Man Prince Adam fucking face on face thing, which is neat. It's a neat thing, you know. It's adult in the way adult should be sometimes, where it's just like, oh, there's time to breathe. There's some depth to it, not like farts and titties.
Yeah, which is again what we when you hear Kevin Smith, the
right, Kevin Smith, an adult. It's like, oh.
I want to bring up the line from the stand-up where they gave, oh no, did we give Superman to the 37 dicks guy?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, also, props to Smith for restraint. There's not really any, aside from like some casting, there's not any like nods, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's no like. Cy Bob and Talk J man, you know.
I
Aside
feel
from
like
them
I
both
feel like
being-
go ahead.
No, he's like the closest we get to that is the after show has like commercials for the toy line, which directed and starring Kevin Smith and fucking Jason Mewes.
Oh yeah, okay, I
And
remember one of those now. Yeah,
they're generally funny. Like it's just like they're bits. They're like a minute long each, and they're generally funny as hell without being like lowest common denominator.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
kind of glad he kept like his isms to that as opposed to like
Right.
you really could have he could have like completely taken his name off it, and I think I think it would have been perceived the exact same way.
Oh, for sure. They would have attacked someone else though, because like it's Smith's the showrunner, and the writers are Mark Bernahan, who also does a bunch of CW stuff, Tim Sheridan, Daya Mishra, and Eric Caruso. I'm trying to find out if there's anyone else, but yeah, it's a good cast of people, and I want to know who was if was Smith in charge of casting the voices or not, because like yeah, it's killer cast.
I feel like he pulled a couple of favors to get some
for
people,
sure.
But,
I mean, Susan Eisenberg, also known as playing Wonder Woman from the Justice League stuff. Alicia Silverstone makes sense. Because then they're all like the big names are all people Smith likes, but also they're good at their jobs.
Yeah.
Like fucking sure, Liam Cunningham is a great actor from Game of Thrones, but he fits this. Him as Man-at-Arms fucking slaps.
There's literally no one miscast. Like everyone in it is like perfect.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same way I felt about Dogma. Like
except for the lead.
Yeah, except for the lead.
Yeah.
Like all the tertiary characters in that are like it's the perfect realm of where you can have a celebrity, but still have it like, comparing it to Clerks where he just cast his friends and the people who are nearby physically to him.
Right.
And like trying to marry that between the Hollywood side of things. I feel like he managed to get a bunch of people who had star power but fit their role rather than making the role fit them.
Right. I mean, Mark Hamill is fucking Luke Skywalker, but also Mark Hamill has done voice act work for the last 30 or 40 years. Like it's not just it's not like you're just taking a name and it's not like a Chris Pratt as Mario or Garfield scenario.
Yeah.
It's Mark Hamill is Luke Skywalker. Was the lead of some of the biggest movies of all time, but also he's damn good. Same thing with Buffy. Sarah Michelle Gellar has done a bunch of Star Wars stuff. Her husband, obviously Mass Effect and Dragon Age. Dietrich Balder, Drew Carey show, but also, Batman, a bunch of animated stuff. Henry Rollins.
He's a voice. Yeah, I was about to say.
Batman Beyond, also Black Flag.
Dietrich Baker is like a powerful voice actor in his own right.
Right. Yeah. They're names, but like they're all A-list voice actors. But because there's a reason why they're A-list voice actors, and it's skill also.
Mm-hmm. Stephen Root, fucking Bill Dotry, and fucking Milton. Stephen Root's actually one of my favorite voice actors, just in general, because the characters he do no one else can do them.
You really should watch the Revolutions Many Thing, because there's an interview with like Smith, the host, because they have Tiffany Smith, who plays Andra, who's the newest kid. Like she's the point of view character for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
They just talk about Cringer and like what they do, and like Root has a genuine affection for the character, and it's very cool.
God.
I really wish like they did a third one, because I would love to see them talk to like Tony Todd or Justin Long. Who again, Justin Long is Roboto. His name is Roboto. Surprise! And that's one of those cool things too. Like there's death and stuff in there, but like those deaths for the most part feel earned. It's not like a cheap just like shock value death.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Fisto. Also, because I'm made, there's definitely I know it's not Smith, because Smith isn't a video game guy, but there's definitely a Warcraft feel of some of these characters. Like Beastman is Thrall. Like I'm not sure if that was intentional or not, but there is some Thrall energy to that dude, at least visually. Same thing with Man-at-Arms. He definitely looks like fucking Uther.
Definitely a bit of D, like just general D&D.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like 9 out of 10 times I would have been like, oh, they stole that from WoW, but it's Kevin fucking Smith, so like, and like I know that, like I know that I don't know him personally, but like we absorbed enough Kevin Smith to know that dude does not fuck with video games.
Yeah, which
thank
God.
Which surprising, right?
Yeah.
You know,
I feel like when I think of if Kevin Smith did a video game, it would be like the first thing that immediately pops to mind is like, I feel this, like, of any genre, I think this could actually work. I feel like a Clerks or Jay and Silent Bob Telltale style game would actually
that would be funny as fuck.
could work. I feel like if they did like a Sam and Max with Jay and Silent Bob,
really way you could do. Yeah,
I feel like that could work. Either that or like go full ridiculous and do like a Simpsons Road Rage, but for the View Askew universe.
Clerks, the driving game series.
The who's driving car joke is literally writing itself in there.
Yeah. But fucking no, it's what it's wild that like the only like the Clerks game you got other than because Mallrats beat 'em up or Jane Silent Bob beat 'em up. I think I'm gonna open up the Steam app right now and find out what it is. I'm fairly certain there's a Jane Silent Bob game out there on Steam that we're concerned about.
I feel like we talked about it one time and said, should we talk about this on the podcast? And we both went, like, we both Men in Black flashed ourselves in the eye and forgot.
Oh damn! Big ass ad for Final Fantasy 14, the critically acclaimed MMO Final Fantasy 14.
Also, really quick, while you're looking that up, I just found out something about Diedrich Bader. Not only did he do the Bat in The Brave and the Bold, but in one of my favorite South Park episodes, he also did the Bat Dad.
That's amazing.
That was him. I never
good episode.
I never knew that was him.
Also, it's called Jane Silent Bob Mall Brawl.
That sounds like
There's
a joke
also
from Arrested
Jane Silent Bob
Development.
Chronic Blunt Punch.
That sounds like something from Newgrounds.
It looks slightly better than a Newgrounds game. Actually, our style pretty good.
All right, we're keeping that in the back pocket in case
in
case we need to do a filler month for Clerks 3. We'll have that. Which by the way,
it's a hand-drawn beat 'em up.
Oh,
this game looks better than any I wonder if that's why it's TBA because this game looks better than a Kevin Smith beat 'em up should be.
Okay. I was dismissive. Could work. Which, by the way, real quick aside, just because of like how schedules and stuff, we were supposed to have this episode maybe like 2-3 weeks ago.
Right.
We are gonna
Christmas, a move, Tom's hell life.
We are going to be doubling up on Shorts and Jorts because we are also going to be doing a little bit of a season finale come the week of Jingle Hells for Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, which I feel is a good like halfway point of this podcast lifespan. And we are going to try to make this thing stretch out until Clerks 3 drops in theaters.
We certainly have enough material. Taylor has told us they want to return.
Awesome.
Yeah. Which we actually, Tom, myself, and Taylor may have unrelated projects launching next year. I gotta get back to them.
I'm excited.
We mentioned it briefly, which we have to,
Oh yeah. That's right. Okay, I remember now.
Yeah.
So the game we're talking about, Makazi, is Silent Bob's Chronic Blunt Punch, which sounds like a fucking Newgrounds game, but apparently
looks like that fucking that Double Dragon game that came out a few years, the super self-aware one.
Oh my god, yeah, that one ruled.
Yeah, which also had like a Skeletor pastiche in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, like, just for the people watching, this is gonna be a little loose episode. So if people have questions or comments, we'll actually read these versus what we have guests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're basically this one is just kind of like a filler because we didn't want to do Strike Back early. So this is like a we're talking about He-Man for the most part, but also talking about just like animation itself, as well as like the stand-ups, which is mostly just going to be me talking about how I love them.
It's wild though. Speaking of stand-ups, so my brother-in-law is going through a bunch of stuff now that he's moved into a house with his 2 dogs and my sister and my mom. Which shout out to Mike for being the real hero. And but he's just like, oh, I have a bunch of DVDs. Do you want some? And I was like, he's like, there's some to either his house or his parents' house. I was like, what do you got? And Tom, you was one of them.
What is one of them?
One of them was fucking the fucking Tusk.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so your dude is getting a DVD copy of hold on, goddamn, did I delete these all? So yeah, Tusk, 2 stand-ups, and X-Men Legends for the Nintendo GameCube.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, it's even Kevin Smith is gonna get copped. Death to Smoochie, which isn't a Kevin Smith thing as far as I know, but it was very good.
It's a Danny DeVito thing, which is like 50%.
Yes. Yeah,
Tusk. I love Death to Smoochie.
He has Yoga Housers on DVD, and I'm not sure if I want to put that evil in my future apartment.
That Yoga Housers is gonna be
that may kill us.
I think we're gonna have to legally be drinking when we
that one. Yeah, because I know we definitely have to be legally drinking for the fucking Jay and Silent Bob Groovy cartoon movie.
Oh man,
which I think that's gonna be rough.
That one, like, as much as I want to do a traditional episode of it like we're doing here, I honestly think the only way we're gonna be able to like.
I think we honestly may get banned from Twitch if we talk about it on its platform. That may be a 40 and a Discord party.
I think so. Here's my preliminary plan. I think I ran this by Chris one time, but it was also a while back.
Right.
I think what we're going to do for that one is we're going to watch it probably in Discord, where people can see it alongside us.
Right.
And yes, that is where my stepdad's not mean. He's just adjusting. I think we're going to watch it. I think we're going to record, like, instead of doing a prepared podcast, I think we're just gonna watch it live and react, more of like a live react than a
sure.
So we may do like a watch along with it because it's only like 45 minutes long, but it's the longest 45 minutes of both of our lives.
Right. That clip you keep on posting and driving insane with feels like 5 hours.
And then we may do like a half hour, like, I want to say dissertation, but it's probably just gonna be us, like, it's
a half an hour therapy session.
I think it's gonna be both me and Chris, like, looking like man, if I took the speaker and shoved it inside my mouth and just slammed my head into how fast do you think I could die?
I wonder if Amanda's gonna make me watch that outside the apartment, just like on my iPad, just like.
I wonder if Tessie's gonna make me watch that outside the apartment.
Not making me want to bring that evil into the apartment. Which fair.
Like, don't forget, the clip that I showed, I only made it about 5 minutes into the movie.
Neil Gaiman isn't in that, and usually when I hear the name Neil Gaiman, I get excited.
This was a favors were called situation.
Blood debts were paid.
So yeah, that's probably how we're gonna end up tackling that, and yeah, we're gonna be wasted for that. Yoga Housers is just us basically asking why over and over, because I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen enough of it to know that it's all the nice things I said about
to top starring Kevin Smith's daughter and Johnny Depp's daughter. That's enough to make me just like
you know, all those nice things we said about Haley Joel Osment's character in Tusk. He plays a different character in that, and literally it's like the polar opposite of that character. And oh boy.
Yeah, Yeah, it's no Zack and Miri makes it porno, I assume.
It is, I think, the first time I'm going to say it that a movie has Nazis dying that I actively hate.
Oof. 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 Oof.
Because normally for media Tom enjoys, Nazis getting obliterated is the shotgun in the rock paper scissors shotgun. It always wins.
Right.
This one, I don't think it can save it.
Yeah, it's hard to fuck up Nazi ownage, but here we are. Eventually we're gonna have to talk comic books, which is that's gonna be a varied experience.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one. Yeah,
there's so many comic books. I'm gonna have to care about Green Hornet for the first time in my life.
That's gonna be another one where Chris is gonna be explaining a whole lot to me.
Because like that I think is also gonna be like his films, where the longer we get into it, the worse it's gonna get. Because like you have the Kevin Smith stuff, that's his stuff, which is okay, cool, whatever. That's his world for the most part. That's fine. Then you have the Marvel
or Chasing Dogma.
Then you have the Marvel stuff, which at least some of it's drawn well. Then you have the DC stuff, which requires me to read a Green Arrow comic by choice,
aka the lesser Hawkeye.
Green Hawkeye. But also the comic in which Batman pees himself. That is not a goof.
Where's the bathroom?
Yeah, there's a lot of Kevin Smith stuff that I'm not looking forward to embracing or watching or putting my eyes for. I'm gonna have to find some games to stream next year to like make up for it. It's like it's crusty watching the fucking the Russian Itchy and Scratchy.
Oh my, yeah.
It's crusty watching the Itchy and Scratchy, or the one where it's just like, I know this is bad, but don't worry, we got some pretty good toy commercials coming up on the break.
Oh yeah. We're gonna have to save that clip.
Okay, but Quiver is really good. Right, counterpoint. It's Green Arrow. Like, I just don't like Green Arrow.
There's nothing Green Arrow can do that Black Canary can't do better and hotter.
Right. Green Arrow, like, you have Black Canary right there. Like, that's the buddy character. Like, and then like, all Green Arrow is lesser Hawkeye. And I know like Green Arrow predates Hawkeye by like a decade, but Hawkeye's the better character. Hawkeye's Hawkeye's done less than more has done more in less time. Like, there's like 20 different Green Arrow sidekicks and various degrees of failures, and Hawkeye's proteges are a dog that eats pizza and Kate Bishop.
Yep.
Which means he's batting 1,000 in the protege department.
I'm thinking right now of like everyone I've knew in my life who was like the big Green Arrow stands, and not all of them, but a good majority of them ended up being weirdo sex pests.
That checks. That checks.
Now, if you want the proper DC, the true men and women of honor, the Lobo stands. Stand up with me, rise up.
Finally,
y'all are good and powerful, and I appreciate and love each and every one of you. Quick aside from that, I like, because I haven't really had a chance to talk about it, but speaking of Lobo, whenever I think of Lobo, I think about Maddox. Oh, that too. Okay. But I think about Maddox. The comic book, the fucking
was it Alphabet of Manliness?
Author, yeah, Alphabet of Manliness, internet writer, and I like, it's so rare to see, but like, he's one of the like few people from that era who like definitely could have ended up being like who like in the early 2000s started off as like a fuck feminism, being manly men rule, and the internet is all the only things you should care about in life are meat and T-Rexes and getting a boner and punching things in the face. And dude ended up being, while still being a lover of all things good, ended up being like progressive conservative.
Did he really? Okay, yeah. Good. Okay, because like I remember he was kind of like last I knew of him, he had a podcast, and he was super insufferable of that.
I feel like it was a podcast that he did with a guy called Dick something.
Yeah.
The guy who basically literally made a book called Men Are Better Than Women. And whenever they asked him about it, he was like, "Oh, it's a character that this guy plays." And I think as time went on, he came to realize that wasn't a character, that was just him. Cut ties with him, and
Dick Masterson.
Dick Masterson, that's right. And I could say something about, I could say that's how it, but I think of also people that like I was friends with around the 2005 to 2010 era, and it's like, I think all of us have kind of had that realization where someone that you were friends with growing up, and you're like, oh no, that's not he's not saying that for real. He's just saying that to be a joke, he's not making a joke about something like that because he believes it. He's just saying it to make a joke. And then you have that realization of like, oh shit, no, you really do suck.
I know. Yeah, I know. Wait, like growing up, being a white kid from the suburbs of Staten Island, going to Brooklyn, I know way too many people like that. I also forgot Maddox's follow-up thing for the Best Picture website too. I Am Better Than Your Kid, in which he insults children's drawings of dinosaurs. That is something I could get down with.
That was the first thing I ever saw from him. And one of my friends linked it on Facebook when like Facebook first started. We're talking like 2004, 2003 Facebook. And I read that and I laughed so hard I actually almost pissed myself.
My copy of Alphabet Madness is actually behind me on my bookshelf just because like there's some stuff I don't care about, but there's a whole thing about how Castlevania Symphony of the Night and Aristotle rules ass. And like I have this thing on my phone, right? It's an I can't show it to you because it's still in beta. It's an app though. I hold the stuff and tells me if it rules or not. And if I take my phone and walk up to a Castlevania games, it rules according to the app. Those games rule actually.
Hold on, let me see how far back I can go in. All right. You want to see a fucking throwback? Let me see if I can get this up on screen here.
Oh, so I'm glad you're on the air for this one because like I had to talk about Sean Baby once on the stream, and people were like, "What the fuck? What's a Sean Baby?" I was like, "He was a big internet bit." Yeah.
It's funny because I was actually just thinking about Sean Baby, because I think someone mentioned like the worst games of all time. And
because that's what early 2000 internet was shitting on stuff with big capital letters and talking about video games.
Okay, so let's see.
We were still in the fucking LOL so random fucking.
Yep.
All right. Is that Vinny?
Our mic should be back. So this is a picture of me and my best friend Vinny in 2005.
Holy shit!
In case you want to know, like, I had my hair long till about probably 2009 when I cut it. That is the best my long hair has ever looked. Every other picture of it looks like shit. But we went to when the Alphabet of Manliness came out, he did a signing in New York City, which me and Vinny went to. We also asked him to autograph.
Is that a fucking
Barnes and Noble?
Is that a Barnes and Noble or a Virgin Mega store?
Barnes and Noble.
Okay.
So we got our book signed. We also asked him to sign. For me, I had a copy of the Lobo Paramilitary and Christmas Special. And Vinny had a DVD of Army of Darkness, and he was like, "Holy shit! I think you guys might actually be the coolest people, like on this line."
I mean, if there's two pieces of media that are good, actually, it's those two.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of Tom lore for you, if you want to know. Which it's fucking like, I love that hair. The only problem with it was like, I would wake up, I would go through like almost a fucking hour of like, the shampooing and the conditioning and the, proper brushing. And then I would drive to work with the windows down in the summer. and I would get out, and it looked like I didn't shower for a fucking week. That's the only problem with hair like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
I do. I actually do. So, you know, I'm Irish Italian. My mom is, I got my hair from my mom. She has like that, like natural wave. And if I let it get long enough, it starts to like do the curl up and,
I thought you were going to a weird scalping thing, and I'm glad you didn't.
well,
Yeah,
no, but
I
what,
just stopped reading books for a while.
what I did inherit from her, if you can kind of see it here, my mom went gray at 37. So, in the next, basically by the time I'm anticipating, by the time I'm 40, I am probably going to be mostly,
yeah,
which
see,
I have plans for that. I have plans for that already.
I don't have it as much up here these days. It's most of the gray has focused down here, as we can tell from my beard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I started going gray at 18. Fuck off. Fair. Yeah, no, mine's directly on my chin for reasons. I stopped reading books for a while because I was in college. Sorry to cut you off. Also, because all my friends were super into the Wheel of Time series. I made it 200 pages in and said, fuck this, so I just stopped reading books for a while. Then when Christmas, my friend got me... Oh, no. Then, like, I tried to lightly back because with some Neil Gaiman. I figured that was a safe bet because it's Neil fucking Gaiman. And then one Christmas, my friend Ben, who you met, and his girlfriend at the time, Anna, got me a copy of World War Z and The Alphabet of Manliness, both in hardcover.
Oh,
and that's what got me reading again.
Those are honestly, like, the books are still funny. A little dated for The Alphabet of Manliness, but you know what? For considering like what was the other things in the quote unquote fratire family was like Tucker Max, which I go back and I reread those stories and I'm like, oh my god, like this is actively I'm like, this man is lying about 90% of this shit, and also holy shit.
I remember Tucker Max having a book signing, to age myself, at the Borders at next to Penn Station, which is currently a smoking crater. Last I checked.
Yep.
Yeah. It was a very expensive food hall, and I remember like people being upset, and I was like, "What's going on?" They're like, "Oh, Tucker Max is doing a signing." I was like, "I don't know who that is," and then I did some research. I was like, "Oh, they're probably right to be upset."
Yep.
Yeah. That Borders was very cursed, by the way.
I remember reading some of his stuff, and some stories were like, honestly, it was funny because I was 18 and in my freshman year of college. The same way that when you're a freshman in college, the junior who does dumb shit you think is really funny. And then you kind of like, movie. Yeah, and then you look back on it and you're like, oh wait, no, that guy was actually kind of a real fucking creeper, and
he was a racist and a creeper.
Yeah. So like I remember, like, I literally remember the exact moment that, like, we kind of had, like, me and Vinny both had, like, our wake-up moment where, I remember he tried to do a movie based on, like, his stories, and it is, to date, probably the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
Is he the is he the star writer and producer?
He did not act. It wasn't him acting in it. He did a cameo as his brother, which is a weird thing to cameo. Like he played his, you know, he wrote him, like, the main character's name is Tucker Max, so it's like, but it was an actor playing him, but he played Tucker Max's brother. So that's a weird thing to cameo as.
Yeah.
It is like how do you even describe it? It's like when someone tells a story and you know they're bullshitting, and the way you try and catch them is to continue, like, have them continue to elaborate until they until everyone in the room knows they're full of shit.
Yeah.
That's this was like a literal 90 minutes of him patting himself on the back, but it wasn't even like funny. It just like it was stupid. It was so fucking stupid. And then I had like that, like, honestly, like, wake up moment where I'm like, I think this guy sucks. 2005 internet was a fucking war zone, and it sucks to see a lot of those people basically do a JonTron and keep sinking money in the sunken cost fallacy of being a terrible person.
Yeah,
because they think that's what made them an audience. That's why it was so rare to see someone like Maddox loop into being a better person.
Yeah, it's rare. It's usually the opposite way around, like fucking Adam Carolla, who was again, the Man Show is not exactly good in any regard, minus a few random jokes here and there.
I have a soft spot for it. It's definitely in terms of Tom's problematic faves. It's definitely there are
stuff we enjoy. We'll talk about in public or on the internet.
I make I make it a point to watch the Man Show Christmas special every Christmas. But yeah, definitely he basically became the opposite of Jimmy Kimmel in every way.
Yeah, minus Jimmy Kimmel's spots of blackface. Speaking of Christmas specials, I'm very excited for the Garfmas this year.
I am so hyped for that. Yeah.
Those new to Discord or the stream or whatever, Goop Sausage and Pals makes a Garfield hosted, and I say that in the loosest sense possible, Christmas special. Originally he wanted to do 8 hours of Christmas this year.
How much did we do last year? It was 4
hours. It was 4 hours. So we're down to 4 hours this year. There's some the spectrum between amazing and awful is wide, because there is some stuff there I was like, oh, I haven't seen that in a while, and there's some shit I was like, oh, that's on rotation, and then there's one thing, and I hope it makes it easily top 3 Christmas specials in my pocket. It's very recent, and it's very good. I don't want to say what it is, because if it's not on there, I'm just gonna say everyone go watch this now on a certain phone and computer making streaming platform.
Yeah, the production value that him and his friends put into this is they were like, oh, can we basically host a viewing party of this in the Snark Discord on Christmas Eve? And I'm like, yeah, you know what, that could actually be fun.
Yeah.
And it ended up being
yeah, it all started, I want to say 2 Christmases ago.
Yeah.
He's just like, hey, I'm feeling kind of lonely. Does anyone want to hang out? Because I have nothing to do on Christmas night. It was either Christmas night or Christmas Eve. He's like, I'm kind of lonely. Does anyone want to hang out and watch the Garfield Christmas special with me? And so this is gonna get a little sad for a moment, but don't worry, it's a happy ending. That was the same year my grandmother passed, and growing up, she had the Garfield Christmas special on VHS tape for me off CBS or some shit. And I was like, I haven't seen that since I was 12. I'd love to watch that. Tom's like, yeah, I'm down for that. And we watched it, and it was surprisingly great. It holds up.
Yeah, it was
just a
one
night.
of the. It was a really solid Christmas thing, and we're like, fuck, we gotta do this. We gotta do this next year.
Yeah, so, and then he made it themed.
He made it themed. He got people who were part of Silva Gunner to do some of the production values on it, which holy shit, they honestly some of the stuff they did rivals some of the best work I've seen for they included trivia, they included basically the entire in between movie reel. They did 10 minutes of that for each one with fucking trivia and transitions, and as a video editor, I'm genuinely fucking impressed. This is amazing. And
one of my favorite. Sorry, cut you off. Go on.
Oh, okay.
You go first.
I was gonna say, and the list was solid. By the time we ended, we had 14 people just fucking chilling and watching stuff.
Yeah. Last year was great because it's there's a little Chris trivia for me. The Invader Zim Christmas special is routine, probably my favorite Christmas special, which says a lot about Chris.
Mm-hmm.
But there's things in that special that make me laugh, it's Bongo the Clown, which is according to what A to B, and the space got big, and that's why he's Bongo. Anyway, and I was like, oh yeah, it's the only Nickelodeon show to say the word abortion, and people were like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, watch it, and they're like, he didn't say it, and then they look at the subtitles, and it's again for Jonan Vasquez, because the Invader Zim Christmas special was also the final episode. He said the word abortion, snuck it past the FCC, and to this day. So seeing like Fang react to that last year was very good.
It honestly did something that I wanted to do for Jingle Hells last year, but like a million times better. We ended Jingle Hells last year by having everyone come into Discord and watching the Boondocks Christmas special. And while it was fun, it was also like 2 a.m. on Christmas Eve.
Right.
So we got like 5 people in, and I'm like, when we did that, I'm like, this is like the perfect Christmas cheer. So we're definitely doing it again.
I believe the date Goo wants to do it is December 17th, which is a Friday night.
Okay.
But it's only 4 hours, which is good, because then the 19th kicks off Jingle Hell proper with we'll pull back the curtain a bit, a special D&D episode of the New York Stock Exchange.
We're having some fun times this
and then the 21st, season. Tom and I are back with Jane Silent Bob Strikes Back.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, Jingle Hells is our end of the year charity. It's actually something that I of all the things I forgot to respond, I actually forgot to respond to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, who wanted to hear more about it. We'll take whatever we get this year and use it to maybe like okay, so 2016 was the first year that we did Extra Life, and we did it in October, so before the election, and we had a good turnout. But I remember particularly, as a lot of people did, come November and December 2016, a lot of people were not in very good places, and I
can't imagine why.
Yeah, I always had like I always made an end of the year charity donation, and I always used to go by the rule of take whatever you spent on presents and try and match a donation of that. So if you spend $200 on gifts, try and spend $200 on donations. So I'm like, I remember 2 really big things around the time were, one, a lot more people were depressed than usual, and also Flint was being particularly hit hard that Christmas by lack of food and lack of clean water. So I'm like, well, this worked for Extra Life. I want to, more than raising money, I wanted to just kind of like, I'm like, a lot of people are basically going to be going to maybe not good situations on this holiday season. I want to have one night where people can come and just relax for a day and kind of get a bit of that Christmas spirit. And if we raise money for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, all the better. So we ended up doing a bit of like the best of all the games from that year. So it was like a little bit of PUBG, a little bit of Jackbox, a little bit of Street Fighter, Garo. I found a bunch of really bad Game Boy Advance Christmas games for NES and whatnot. And I said, whatever we raise, I'm gonna make a matched donation I'm gonna raise money, because Tiltify at the time would only let you raise money for one charity. And I'm like, whatever we raise is gonna go to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and whatever we raise on this day, I'm gonna match it with the donation to the Midwest Food Bank. And we ended up doing that on the day before, as close to the day before Christmas Eve as we could, for every year since. And this last year was a particular special one, because I had every person in the Snark Exchange do on their night kind of match that of making, raising money for suicide prevention and making a personal donation of their own to whatever charity they chose. So Chef, for example, picked one for restaurant employees and staff who were put out of work by the pandemic. Ray did one for getting I believe like inner city youths to like better schooling systems, and Trevor, I want to say, did one for black artists, supporting black artists. Chris, I forget what your was your for the.
I just usually just tag onto yours.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because I I usually get free reign of the Pride stuff every year.
True.
So I was like, I'll just add on to top. Although next year we're gonna do something a little different, which I'll get into next year.
Yeah.
I want to try something a little different next year.
So it was nice to it was nice to raise
Right.
a couple, like I think we did something like 500, or I think we may have even broken 1,000 for that.
We did really well last year. I want to say if we hit $1,000 or got close to $1,000 overall.
And in addition to that, like raised almost $1,000 extra for all these other charities. So like we're hoping to do the same this year.
Yeah.
Just because, always want to end the year off on a good note and help.
Yeah, also, like, this is, like, the best Christmas I'll have in a while. Not to get too down, I'm just saying, this is, like, where I was last year versus the year before that.
Yeah.
I'm very excited going to the holidays and the New Year this year. Yeah, okay, yeah. But, that's some of the stuff we have. Like, we spent, like, exactly an hour talking about He-Man and moved on to other stuff, which is fine. Again, this is supposed to be, like, a filler / just chat, chill night.
Yep. It's the most free-form podcast we've done so far.
Yeah, which is, not all of them could be 3 hours of us yelling about Kevin Smith dick jokes. He-Man good, though, just in case people who are wondering we're talking about He-Man good. I liked it so much that after the first 5 dropped, I immediately went on Big Bad Toy Store, not a sponsor, they could be, and bought an Evil Lynn figure and pre-ordered Tila for $25 a pop.
Which is money well spent. God.
It was actually. They were for Mattel figures pretty good.
If they made a Darklyn, Mamma Mia, I would.
It kills me that there's only two waves and not more, and it irks me. I've already nearly enough Transformers from Big Bad Toy Store that they should sponsor us.
Between you two and we just dropped Sean's name, they're like, okay, we have
actually. So it was these two for me. Then there was the $100 Harley Quinn figure I bought this year. It was a Revoltech, so that, and then both of them and his Christmas gifts came from BBTS, which again, not a sponsor. They could be.
Honestly, it's not. Hey, listen. If Mario Bueno can get the sponsors that he gets, we should be able to get some of that. We love you, Mario.
I have a mean joke. I'm not gonna say, but anyway,
I don't know. Hey, Anime NYC, ditch the COVID and get us a panel.
Right, next year, unless America. I mean, granted, we could have applied for a panel or remember to apply for a panel. We didn't, and whose fault is that? Anime NYC.
Yeah, they should be seeking us out. Next year, we should have New York Snark Exchange, Big Dicks and Bigger Hearts, be the premier panel.
Yeah, us and the fucking the VTubers back to back. I'm sure that will put seats in asses.
Yeah,
puts ass in seats. I don't want to put seats in asses. That's a different convention. Anyway,
but yeah, so that's like, it's weird how like we like the thing we're known most for is all of our charity work when we are like one of the most fucking like we make some of the fucking like nothing but dick jokes.
Yeah, right.
Jokes.
We are Kevin Smith like for better or worse.
It's why this podcast felt so natural.
Yeah, right. It's we talk about influences. Like, as much as we hate to admit it, there's definitely, at least from the Tom and Chris angle, some Kevin Smith influence.
Yeah. And again, like Kevin Smith is, as bad as some of those movies get, and as bad as Super Movie Cartoon Movie got, he definitely could have gone on the path that I think he thought people would have wanted him to go on, and just done, like, basically never evolved or never grew up. We're going to be eating these words in January when we look at Clerks 2.
Oh, wait, I thought it was...
Oh, February.
February,
we're doing... That's right.
For Black History Month, Clerks 2 for reasons.
Yeah, I forgot.
Also, sure is the guest in that episode, so it'll be fine.
Yep. because we have to.
It is funny that look, we'll be on year 2, and it's the first time it's someone who's not you and me is for this team is going to be on that on the show.
Yeah. Oh, we love you, buddy.
I hate you.
Yeah, no, January we're gonna literally go from one end of the spectrum to another by doing Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back right into the most appropriate fuck you it's January feel with Jersey Girl.
Just to celebrate my move to New Jersey. Jersey Girl, baby.
AKA
Which I have to admit, that timing pretty good.
We did not plan that.
No.
I'm gonna give you a little hint, a little spoiler for what our Jersey Girl podcast is gonna be. It's gonna be me basically looking at a picture of George Carlin and fucking crying for most of it, because I think that might have been his last role before dying, and why did it have to be that?
Was it really? Hold on.
I feel like it might have been. It might have been.
George Carlin is Kevin Smith related, so we could talk about this now.
Yeah.
No, I don't want George Lucas or George Clinton.
We're also gonna. We listen. We always want George Clinton.
Yes.
we want that funk.
No. So good news, bad news.
Oh.
What do you want? What do you want?
Let me get the good news first.
It was not his last role.
What's the bad news?
It may have been Cars.
He was in Cars?
He played Fillmore, the anti-establishment hippie VW microbus.
I thought that was Willie Nelson all this fucking time.
Nope.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Still, also sad. Also, we're gonna be talking about Geely during during the Jersey Girl episode, and for those who haven't actually looked up the plot of Geely,
actually,
fucking right.
Okay, so here are the final George Carlin movies. 1999, Dogma. 2001, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. 2003, Scary Movie 3. 2004, Jersey Girl. He's in 2 different movies in 2005. Are you ready for polar opposites?
Uh-huh.
You have The Aristocrats as himself.
Makes sense.
And then Tarzan 2 as Zugor.
Yeah.
2006, Cars. 2007, Halfway After as a wizard, and then technically his last credited role was Bill and Ted Face the Music as Rufus, as a posthumous release of archival footage.
Okay, which makes sense.
Yeah.
That actually just like unlocked like a chakra in my mind. So, The Aristocrats. Have you seen that? Have you seen that movie?
Not in its entirety.
So I saw it. It was actually playing at the local independent theater that Vinny used to work at in high school. And I went to see it because I absolutely had to see it.
Right.
And the only other people in the theater were like a 80-year-old couple.
Oh no.
Who left the movie 15 minutes in. Because I am pretty sure they thought they were seeing the Aristocats, the animated movie about kitty cats. Not the documentary about a dirty joke in which Bob Saget says that a kid gets a cock in the eye and gets cockeyed.
Oh, Bob Saget. love that Bob Saget filthy mouth. Love that Danny Tanner is just a profanity machine.
Bob Saget is like one of the fucking greatest people.
It's why we got. I was like, we gotta start a Bob Saget podcast, but I wouldn't like. We watched Full House and a bunch of Americans. Like, what would that even be like? Right,
I think we're gonna have to take a page out of
Rich's.
Rich's. We have to take a page out of Rich's book and call it "Wholesome and Some Holes," a Bob Saget podcast.
We would have to. What it could be is about America's Funniest Home Video episodes that don't exist.
Oh, or if we wanted to go true Bob Saget style, we would have to. God, we'd have to go and look up like weird fetish porn, but narrated in that over the top like ding dong boing. Hello, I'm a little sub. I'm gonna call and lick my master's feet. I hope I don't get smacked back and poink. Whoopsie doodles.
You know what the saddest and the funniest thing in the world is?
What's that?
I'm going to hell for this. But
Oh no.
looking at some Bob Saget facts, and in 1996, Bob Saget directed the 1996 ABC television movie For Hope, which was inspired by the life story of his late sister, and I shit you not, her name is Gay Saget.
Oh, fuck.
I'm going to hell. Why?
I haven't laughed at a dumb joke in so long, and yet that just fucking...
That's not a joke. That's a name.
No, I know, but I haven't laughed. Like I haven't had like a fucking Beavis and Butthead moment of like,
Yeah, right.
dick, gay.
Okay.
In fucking for real quick aside, for anyone, which by the way that should just be the name of this episode of the podcast, real quick aside, I just instantly got reminded of being in a Chris, I know you'll know this as well, being in an all boys high school in in the early 2000s, and I just like in my mind, just like I could hear being in the cafeteria and hearing from like far distance, boom. Going to a fucking all boys high school in the Bronx, you would just like almost every day was an episode of Side Talk. You would just hear people going down the street, boo, boo, boo.
If we're talking about fucking high school sucked. I'm not getting into that because Old Boy Catholic High School in Staten Island, what an excellent sports program, and then here comes Chris. Not the ideal mashup. But I used to work overnights at Rite Aid unloading trucks during college because it beat working at Kids R Us. I mean, I'm sorry, Babies R Us.
Yeah.
And one of the running gags was one night we were unloading a truck, and there was this really shitty like nightclub in Brooklyn where I worked that was constantly getting shut down and whatnot. And then two drunk guys got into like a screwing match, and one of them just like walked away. You know, was trying to be the bigger man.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got like 2 blocks away, and the guy he walked away from called him the F slur.
Oh.
And dragged it, like just dragged it out.
Uh-oh.
And then there was like a brief pause, and then out of nowhere, someone going, "Hey, shut up." So every time a coworker and I would try to find each other, they just hear that in the store because it was like 4 a.m. No, and it was my Rite Aid was closed between 10 and 8, and then you just hear, "Hey, shut up."
Oh man.
Also, that store, I had a shelf pushed down on me once.
Holy shit.
Because yeah, just because like we pranks on each other, and the prank was to push like a basketball on my head so it would bounce off my head. And the dude didn't clear the fucking the shelf, so he pushed an entire unit on me.
Oh God.
That's yeah. I was fine. The other shelving unit kind of caught most of it.
Yeah, it's still not fun.
That Rite Aid's still there. I'm sure that manager has either been forced into retirement or transferred.
The funny thing is like, going back to high school, nearly every like. I'd say probably about like a stronger than expected average. I would say probably about 40% of the people I knew in high school who like made gay jokes or had like a tinge of homophobia to them. 2 of them are trans, and about 3 of them came out. So I'm like, wow, Catholic high schools, like, it is almost uncanny how like the closet is real.
Yeah. Oh God. So yeah, no, I have nothing good to say about my high school. I also don't talk to most people I went to high school with. Like,
Yeah.
I found one from Facebook, and he was doing fine, and then he stopped using Facebook. Then another dude, with my buddy Pat, who I've known since kindergarten.
Wow.
So he's doing fine. Then this kid, Brian, who got tossed out of my school junior year because he had a bunch of Misfit lyrics in a notebook. And someone saw those and thought they were threats to the teacher.
Uh-oh.
And this is post Columbine.
Yeah, about to say it's an
Yeah.
age of Columbine. He's quoting Danzig. That's not
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
end
yeah.
well.
Die, my darling. Are ultimately harmless. Because the Misfits are a punk band that sings about horror movies. So he got turbo fucking tossed out. But he went on to join the military. Was in the WWE training camp for a while until he popped his knee or something happened.
Holy
He's
shit.
doing fine though. He disowned his family after 2016.
Good call.
Yeah, even though he was just like he voted Republican anytime up to that, he was just like, oh no, like this is nothing once, and now he's super into AEW and Baby Yoda, which
It feels like the
not the
natural
worst.
story. It feels like the natural story.
Not the worst two things to be involved with,
Yeah.
I saw him briefly at that show, Me Chef, Sean, and the two out of the 3 Sean's that we all know at the Garden 2 years ago. And yeah.
Thinking of,
Otherwise, fuck high school.
Yeah. The only person I really like stayed in solid touch with was Vinny. One of my older best friends, like, we basically cut ties. We didn't like cut ties. We just like stopped talking to each other after like. This was also like 2005, so like Facebook wasn't a thing yet. It was MySpace,
Right.
and
MySpace
messaging system was basically non-existent. So we just kind of
right.
we fell apart, and then my uncle, my uncle was a guy who worked in IT, got laid off his job and ended up working at Starbucks for a little bit. And at Thanksgiving, he's like, "Hey Tom, do you remember? Did you know someone named name?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I haven't talked to them in forever." He's like, "Yeah, I'm their boss, and they go by Brenda, not her real name. They go by Brenda now." I'm like, all of a sudden, like, the instant they said that, like, 3 memories came like flying back in my head. One was her playing David Bowie and being like, "Man, I love this look," but like she was like, "I could never wear this to church though, but I love this look." I'm like, okay, that's I love Bowie too. Another was being at a fucking oh my god, it's the I'm trying to remember the name of the store. It's like a not a Hot Topic. It was the skate shop before Zoomies came out.
Oh, no idea.
PacSun.
Oh, PacSun's still around, by the way.
Oh, okay. I haven't been in them all in ages. And
I did not know PacSun was still around, by the way, but it is.
And her going, I think I'm gonna try wearing girls' jeans. I'm like, okay. That, if you want to go, I'm like, if you want to go for that look, go for it. I mean,
gender is bullshit, so I get that.
Yeah. also like, I'm like, I can't pull that off because I already have trouble fitting the fucking men's jeans. And oh my god, what was the third one? But like instantly it all clicked. I'm like, that makes a lot of sense.
So welcome to our podcast with a podcast Pack Watch. I just googled PacSuns near me. There's a goddamn PacSun in the Queen Center Mall, which I was not aware of, which is my local mall. And then there's one in my new local mall, the American Dream. Which, have I told you about that, Tom? Because I think we're gonna do some mall talk in a few minutes. If not,
go for mall talk.
Okay, so the American
actually, let me put a real quick.
Yes.
So
I
ended up finding her on Facebook. We had a long talk. She's doing great, and honestly, I couldn't be happier that she's like really happy with herself. Good. And thankfully, her parent, like, honestly, the part that I was most afraid about was her parents were very were on the conservative Catholic Irish,
right?
And I'm like, are things cool with your folks? And she's like, yeah, they came to understand. I'm like,
oh,
okay,
cool.
Thank God. So
yeah,
happy and
because like
happy
that story is either my parents are cool with it or I just don't know my parents.
Yeah.
So the new mall by me is called American Dream, which is a fucking shrine of capitalism. It is a retail / entertainment complex in the Middleland sports arena.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. My dude, there is not one, not two, but eight or 10 different fucking like theme parks within this thing, including the DreamWorks water park, in case you want to get wet with Shrek. Nickelodeon Universe, which is the biggest indoor theme park in the Western Hemisphere. Too many golf courses, one Angry Birds theme. You know Angry Birds, the game we all still love?
Oh my god, I haven't thought about the Angry Birds.
The other one being Black Life Mini Golf. Black Light, not Black Life, Christ. Black Light Mini Golf. A Mermaid's Big Snow, which, two guess what Big Snow is?
Snowboarding?
It is an indoor real indoor real snow year-round ski and snow resort.
There have been so many bones broken on the like every single person who face plants is just the blood that comes out of their nose from them face planting is like blood being soaked up by capitalism, and just like
Tom,
every time.
What if I was to tell you, freaking being here, that is one of two different snow mountains within this mall?
How the fuck?
There's a separate snow experience. It's a snowboarding shop where you can buy your snow gear, your skis, your snowboards, and then you can go outside to the private mountain and go up the ramp and then take it back down.
I need to talk to like the ambulance drivers and EMTs in that area, because I need to know how many people.
So this at the top of, there's a Best Buy within the mall. There's Amazon 4 stores. There's a Hot Topic, a Torrid, a Box Lunch. Here's the thing. Here's the punchline though. It's in technically Bergen County in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what Bergen County has, Tom?
No. Oh, is that where Action Park is?
No, it has blue laws.
Oh.
Meaning 90% of that mall is closed on Sundays. Imagine spending and like, this wasn't cheap. This is an impressive piece of fucking property, and then 1 or 2 days, the weekend, the biggest shopping days of the week.
I'm like, I know people like their religion and all, but at what point does someone get shot?
with the fucking the blue laws, yeah, because like we went there and Amanda and I went there in low fucking Anime NYC, because like, let's go to the mall because I don't feel like going out there. So it's basically if you don't have certain goods for sale, you can't be open. So the Hot Topics gets around that, the Box Lunch gets because they're collectible stores.
Okay.
But since H&M is a clothing store only, Best Buy is an appliance store, Foot Locker is a clothing store. Those are all closed.
But collectibles are okay to get
Yeah,
around
that's
that?
the fuck. Yeah, right. Because like no one was buying Funko Pops in the 1600s.
Oh, but if they could, society would be so advanced. So I'm just envisioning
yeah.
like the mall itself is still open.
Yeah, you can walk around and see what cool stores are closed.
I'm just envisioning like a child like going like pulling a fucking Sid from Toy Story and like fashioning everything together and like fucking power riding through the middle of the mall on like a snowboard golf cart hybrid, just fucking jumping over hoops while the Blues Brother theme plays.
Oh no, they're
God.
all no. It's like that's the one thing that bumps me up at that mall. There was shitty teens, but they weren't being shitty.
What's the point?
The Staten Island Mall is where all the shitty teens are still running rampant.
They're like, a mall isn't a mall unless you have a couple of teens losing their buzz, looking to call someone fat. Like you need that in order for a mall to properly like. Those kids being there in that location makes the bourbon chicken from the food court taste like bourbon chicken.
Right. They do have a Taco Bell in this fucking this false god of a mall. The food court has a Taco Bell, which bless them. Yeah, they do have the rideable animals, which I hate so much. I hate those goddamn rideable animals. The Staten Mall, though, I went twice this year, which is more I've been in the last decade. And the first time I went, I was walking by their movie theater, and two kids came running out of the movie theater with their skateboards, and I immediately jumped on them. I was like, God bless you, shitty teens. I saw kids with cat ears in public, and I was like, holy shit, it is 2005 all over again.
They, honestly, like, the weebs are coming out in full force.
Well, like... they're all hype beasts now, or like kids who shop at Hot Topic. Like, you know, like there's a 1 in 10 chance you see someone in my neighborhood wearing a Dragon Ball Z shirt at any given time. The real weebs are the ones with the fancy sports cars, i.e. Black Rose Goku.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Or was that Goku Black Rose? That's who it was. Although there is someone in my neighborhood with Blue Vegeta over their car, so I think they found their rival.
God, one of my coworkers has a fucking ton of Animal Crossing stickers on her car, and it took me forever. It took me forever to find out who it was.
I'm sorry, but Clam Slimer's comment: mechanical rideable animals are just telling us not to be able to ride real animals.
I think of the like mechanical rideable animals, and it's like that. What's the fucking meme of like in the imposter in the impersonation lies the real, and I'm just like envisioning a fucking like rideable monkey or something like that.
What I want though, I want to see an actual, and this is not furry bashing, but I saw a meme recently that made me laugh so hard. It was a furry wearing a shirt saying, "I don't get into fights because I'm afraid I'm gonna get choked so hard I'll come." I just want to see like Grey Wolf in that shirt riding like a rideable wolf. Right.
Oh. fucking
right.
Mercy.
Yeah. I saw that in public. I just like kind of laughed and pointed to my phone at and hope Amanda would see what I was looking at, and I just gotta look. I know way too many. If you gave those kids real animals to ride, they wouldn't know what to do because the ones in the mall aren't real enough.
They could never pull a never-ending story and fucking and hop on Treyu.
What Treyu? Yeah, no, like it's wild now because like I'm not sure anyone else has seen this, but I've seen 2 different Hot Topics doing so well that they have a kiosk outside their mall, at their mall store.
Huh.
Like the one in the American Dream, like they have a little kiosk like 5 feet away from their store, and all it is those Loungefly bags.
Oh, okay.
And JoJo shirts. And then the one the one by my current local mall is just like it's Funko Pop hell.
That's more like what I was expecting.
Yeah. It's also wild, like so Staten Island Mall is just a very special place because A, it's Staten Island. B, the mall's thriving there because what else you can do in Staten Island? But like that store is like 4 different stores. It's either fast fashion, nerd shit, hypebeast, and where the hypebeasts get their shit from. And that's and like a food court.
I'm trying to remember. There was a mall about maybe an hour north of where I am that me, Jay, and JoJo went to maybe about a year and a half ago. I want to say it was like an hour and change northwest of where I am. So kind of entering like where upstate New York meets upstate Connecticut. And I forget why we went there. There was something we had to get in that area. And there was just someone fucking open carrying, like walking around the mall with like a fucking AR-15.
This isn't the Palisades, right?
No, definitely not the Palisades.
Okay.
I love the Palisades is my mall. That
Palisades is the only mall where they closed down the Hot Topic, but because the rent was too high, and Hot Topic was like absolutely not.
Yeah.
Oh, Boomerang Nuts. What's a hype beast? Hype beast is a dudes like it's like like they're the ones always wearing like Supreme or Baiting Ape or fucking like the fucking super designer t-shirt shit. You may also know them now because you go to any well-respecting mall has either a t-shirt kiosk or a shop that sells bootleg t-shirts, and it's whatever Goku and Naruto are wearing these days.
Mm-hmm. And they always have an Instagram.
Yeah. That being said, I do love bootleg Naruto Dragon Ball Z t-shirts where Goku was wearing Supreme wear.
I was the happiest person when Hot Topic put all the Silk anime shirts up.
I'm so glad they're back.
Me too. I
have a cotton one that's a little too tight on me, so my 2022 goal is to lose weight so I can wear my button down Sailor Moon shirt.
Nice.
It's black. It's pink and black. It's slick as hell.
Oh, that's so that is drip.
It's
that is
it's
drip
a box.
100%.
It's I need to lose weight so I get that, some pink pants, and then flex the Jordans. Yeah, it's like Ed Hardy's or your Van Dutch. Yeah.
Think of kids who are like really fucking into Jake Paul, like
right. Yeah.
Oh my god. But yeah, no, this dude was just like fucking. This dude was like just fucking walking around like it was just a dude open carrying, and then we looked at like because there were cops like on the other end of the mall, and like they're also carrying assault rifles in a fucking mall, and I'm looking at him like, is this guy just a cop? No, this guy is wearing like a fucking like, this guy is wearing like a beer and pussy t-shirt and shorts, and like him and the cops like waving at each other like, hello, good gun weather today, isn't it? And I'm like, I think we gotta get the fuck out of this mall.
Did I ever tell you my favorite mall story recently?
What's that?
So I was in the Staten Island. It was the weekend before John Con this year, and I went to the Staten Island Mall to buy a new bathing suit. And it so happened there, the one Barnes & Noble attached had a book I wanted. So I was at checkout. There was a father and his son there, and the kid had like 6 volumes of Demon Slayer in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And the cashier was just like, "Oh, you love my son likes Demon Slayer." Yeah, Dad took me to go see the movie. And the dad's just like, this is all your birthday money. Are you sure you just want to buy manga with it? And the kid turns around and goes, "Well, you won't let me play video games. What else am I supposed to do with money, Dad?"
Oh my god!
And I'm like, that kid did not skip a beat. And I was like, "Yo,
the next generation might actually kick ass."
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, yo, your kid could be out there dabbing with me on Fortnite, and he's now gonna fucking be a mangaka when he hits like 25.
Oh yeah, no, the Palisades is 100% my mall because I grew up in Yonkers, right near Cross County, so like Cross County was my mall, and Palisades were my malls growing up.
Well, Tom, you sound like a real mall rats.
I am indeed. I am indeed a rat.
It's that one about 5 minutes, Tom. Just want you to know.
A rat. Yeah, we've had a lot of mall talk and no mall rat stuff, which is fine.
Right.
But like I literally remember as the Palisades opened with like literally half the stores vacant, and like all they had was like the ice skating rink and like a JC Penney's, and like I would just like used to go on dates with my ex there, where literally we would just walk from one end of the mall to the other. Like that was good shit. But when they added the Dave and Buster's, that's when shit started. Like
the Staten Island Mall has a Dave and Buster's, and if you want to see me get real mad real quick, have me walk around a Dave and Buster's arcade selection and watch my face.
Because like to be so good.
80% of Dave and Buster's games are garbage. The one I fucked up the last time, I forgot the Staten Island Mall has the newest Time Crisis and the newest House of the Dead in there.
Yeah, but the guns are all fucked up. It doesn't work anymore.
Both of them?
Yeah.
Or are you talking in general?
Oh, I'm just talking in general.
Oh no, they looked fine. I just didn't want to stand in Dave and Buster's in Staten Island for too long because A, it's loud as fucking there, and B, it's Staten Island.
True.
Yeah.
When Dave and Buster's first opened up, they like the ratio of Dave and Buster's token games to like actual arcade games was like 20% theirs, 80% arcade, and it kicked ass. They had fighting games, they had racing games, they had a ton of shooters. Like that kicked ass. And then as time went on, it just like more.
Yeah, because I've seen like shooty games I've never seen a fighting game at Dave and Buster's.
Now the only things that they had the last time I went, which was probably like 2015, probably the last time I went there. The last time I went, they had Mario Kart Racer, a Time Crisis, and that everything else was just token games.
Yeah. So I've been to 2 different Dave and Buster's in the last decade. Well, by choice, I should say. I think prior to that, I may have gone for a birthday party or a back when New York Comic Con wasn't like a 5-day fight club, and they used to have like day 0 parties. So there was one in Rochester I went because I had a wedding to attend out there, and then it was 110 degrees outside, and no one wanted to be outside after a while. So in April, in April, mind you, fuck Rochester. So they had the Luigi's Mansion arcade game.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Which you think would be good, and it's not.
Yeah, it's bad.
And then they had fucking Tomb Raider light gun game. I was like, oh, this is a marriage Square Enix light gun game. That has to be good. It's not good.
There's another one I'm trying to remember that had like a weird peripheral.
Silent Scope?
Not Silent Scope. I love Silent Scope.
I didn't care for the original Silent Scopes because I was bad at them, but there was that anime one for a few years ago.
Yo, Bone
Saw, whatever. Yeah, Bone Zone. Yeah. It's anime as hell, but here's the thing: it rules.
That game kicks. I would pay, because I used to love Time Crisis so much that I actually like bought the gun and played it at home all the time.
Oh, a man of taste.
Yeah. If they made that bone scope like a PS4 with like a $100 peripheral, I'd fucking buy that because that game ruled.
Now I'm gonna have to look at what's it fucking Silent Scope because it's anime as fuck, but I don't care. I found it at MagFest one year back before the guy from Tokyo Attack was outed as a sex pest or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
It reminded me of like if Earth Defense Force was also a Silent Scope game. That's what that felt like.
Yeah. God, I'm trying to find. It's also like I feel like Silent Scope was one of the last few fucking like games they try to put on like as arcade game. They brought the console and it's like why?
Yeah. Bone Eater, which is
Bone Eater,
by all accounts
also
a much worse
kind of
name. A much worse name.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's something like. Alright, so for the most part, most fucking like arcade shooters on console sucked, except for the Wii, because that's what that system was made for. So you could spend $20 and buy the LA Gunblade collection, get hammered with your friends, and beat those games in like 10 minutes at home.
Oh my god, I would buy that in a fucking.
No, that is not a full scenario. My buddy Sean and I bought a lot of like games for the Wii and got very drunk in my apartment. Ooh, thank you, Clam Slammer.
Yeah, thank you for that 13-month resub. That's more than a baby.
Wait, a baby? It was like some sort of super baby, some sort of super size squad.
God, but yeah, the more and more Dave and Buster's is kind of like, you got more and more arcade adaptations of mobile games like Flappy Bird and Angry Birds and Fruit Slash.
The arcade port of the mobile version of Injustice.
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, like there's the fighting game, y'all.
The last one I saw that looked cool as hell is there was like a 4-person Halo one.
Oh, why are you talking about like it's a shooter?
Yeah, I saw that at round 1 last time I was there, and that game looked like it kicked ass.
I've seen that at Dave & Buster's, but also there's a mall. There's a mall in Baton Rouge that has like that sitting by itself outside of an aquarium inside that mall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, hey, cool.
There's also like a bunch like. Honestly, the game that probably got the most advancements is like every one of those new Pac-Man arcade games kicks ass.
Oh, competitive Pac-Man is the best way. Is the best game.
It can get so fucking heated.
Barcade has that. The one in I haven't been to Barcade since
yeah, COVID.
Yeah. Later, Clem. When's the last time we went to fucking? Yeah, 2022. Once COVID ends, we're gonna figure a way to get the Palisades and have a clam day.
I remember.
Clam in real life.
I think the last time I went to Barcade was for your birthday, either your birthday or, no, it was your birthday because we had that was the your birthday party where Trevor brought the dumb bitch juice.
Oh, was that? No, because that was 2017. No, 2019. I think Dumb Bitch Juice was yeah, because I had like 3 different Dave & Buster related birthdays there.
Mm-hmm.
I think because there was the one year Trevor bought the Dumb Bitch Juice, and there was Shrek.
Yep.
That was 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, then 2019 was the year after, and then COVID.
Right, 2019 I didn't make because I was sick as hell.
Right, and then 2020 didn't happen because motions and everything.
COVID. Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
I still remember was it Ray's birthday that we had at what was the one where I drank 2 liters of beer and then went to Image Anime and ended up dropping like $200 on bullshit.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. That was Jen's birthday.
Yes.
Yeah, because we were at what's his face? Same year, early that year, because it was what the fuck was it? Oh, what the fuck's that bar? It's not the beer hall. It was like Golden Man. What the hell is it called? Tickle Man? No. It
was one of those German beer houses where you could get a 2-liter boot of beer.
Okay, yeah, the Rockin' Bar was also there.
Yeah.
So there were 2 different instances. There was Rockin' Bar, which is on 37th. That's still there. That's where Image Anime used to be.
Okay.
But there's another one we used to go to all the time that oh, what the hell's it called? Wait, VR World's still there? No way. Because Riken Bar Hall is Riken Bar is across the street from Image Anime when they had a retail store. Now, rest in peace. Although it was funny because they apparently have worked with other stores, done like pop-up anime stores since.
That's what I remember seeing Mario advertising it.
Yeah, where the fuck was it? Riken Bar, fuck. Ginger Man, that's it, Ginger Man.
Oh, okay, yeah, I remember that.
For one year for Jed's birthday, we went to Ginger Man because I remember going. No, I think it was like you. It was because Erica and Chef were there and they did their own thing. I think it was you, Jay, me, and Jen stumbled to Image Anime because I dropped $70 on that Tracer Figma,
Mm-hmm.
and then you walked out with like $200 and shit.
Yeah, I was really drunk.
I mean,
man.
Image Anime closing kind of sucks because like that was like a decent retail anime store in the city, but also I'm not making 2019 money anymore, so like I can't be doing that as much.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah. Although I'll say Kino Kino has a decent selection of shit now too.
Oh, still love Kino. I remember when Kino used to have a store in the Palisades, and that was like the best.
Did that close?
Oh, that closed. That closed in like 2007.
I've not been to Palisades since.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
We used to go. Fucking me, Trevor, Jay, Brandon, Iris used to go to the conveyor belt sushi place in there.
Okay.
That was actually fucking solid sushi for for a Palisades place. That and Joe's Crab Shack. I remember that. That was like
right, because the other
2014,
you know what
2015.
I was thinking the Kinokuniya up in Mitsuwa.
Oh, okay.
Which is still there.
Yeah,
that one's still there. Okay.
That one's a good one.
Yeah, not been in forever because like Mitsuwa ate what it was if you know back.
The last time I was up there was for I think it was for like their Japanese festival sometime in summer.
Yeah. They have a okay, so they have a little they have a Daiso Japan now, a Mitsuwa Market, whatever Mars New York is in Little Japan. Cool.
Yeah, I remember that was a fun one. That was a nice one. God, yeah. But I haven't been to the Palisades, I think, since then. I think the last time we went was around like 2016, 2017. And yeah, just stuff was getting closed down left and right. I don't want to know what it's like now after COVID.
Let's find out what's in the Palisades Mall. Didn't they have like a Think Geek in there?
Yes, they did. Let's take a look.
Let's see what they offer here at the Palisades Mall. They got security. Wait, did they even tell you the stores now? Safety visit.
I'm going to shop.
Shop. Okay, here we go. This is what everyone came.
A 7-Eleven. The first thing I see.
I just typed down all, and I got 2 stores.
Oh, I just went to shop and then.
Yeah, because it's like shop, dine, play, right?
Yeah.
I went to shop, and only 2 stores are loading for me. It's Arapacel and Arden. Okay, yeah, SEN on TV, Five Below, Glowing Candle, Spencer's. Oh, they have a Newbury Comics too.
I'm telling you, that place is growing like wildfire.
That's fucking insane.
Custom World, custom tea shops.
Love that. Get my Goku Supreme shirt.
Dave and Buster's.
Electronics. Yeah. Oh, the Best Buy, GameStop's still there.
Oh, the Ferris wheel is still there, just unavailable. Good Game Lounge, which I'll be the judge of that.
Wait, what's that under?
That
Electronics.
No, that's under shop. The Good Game Lounge is a hybrid gaming platform that brings community-based esports to you. Compete in weekly challenges to earn points to earn monthly to compete in monthly events or purchase a ticket.
Okay.
gglounge.com.
Okay, now we're this is a new segment when we look at malls.
Oh, the first image that they picked for this is not a very flattering one.
Oh, that dude is hype though. Here, I'm gonna post that in chat now.
Hype. That dude is hype as shit and busting like a third of a nut.
Or he just sharded.
A little bit of both.
Oh, I do love Fortnite. Casual play, Steam education. Okay, parties and events. Where players become champions. That's a good handle. Oh, so for $400, we could book this place.
Oh, if we ever want to have a... God.
Right, or we just go to OS and pay like $20.
Yep.
Oh, we could hire a photographer for $100 or a videographer for $200.
There's also something called the Hype Room. Oh, it's a sneaker.
What is the?
The
Oh,
Hype
okay,
Room
yeah,
is
that's
a sneaker shop.
Oh, that
Which,
makes sense. Okay.
Speaking of sneaker shops, I found out that like literally across the oh shit, they have a Kung Fu Tea.
Oh, okay.
But across the street from the grocery store, like down my block, there's a sneaker shop that actually just got robbed. The guy had
First you steal the Jordans, then you get the ski mask, then you get the PS5.
Dude, I did not. I thought this place was just one that you would go to like either get shoe repair or like, I never knew like what was actually in it. It's a place called a Shoe Affair. So
okay,
you don't know what to expect. Apparently, this place like wanted to make like a sneaker museum in Bethel.
Right.
So the shoes that got robbed were actually a pair of Freddy Krueger Nike Dunks that were like $50K a piece.
Whoa.
And the guy had two pairs that both got robbed.
Those are kind of hype, though.
They look cool as shit.
Yeah. The pink and purple Jordans.
But it's like nuts.
Man, that sucks. Like, it's a Facebook page, right?
Yeah. You're probably
yeah. The dude in the old gray jumpsuit holding up the fucking Air Force Ones. Oof. God. We're learning tonight. So we have definitely not talked about Kevin Smith in the last hour, and I'm not sure if that's better or worse.
I feel like the mall is close enough to still get some.
Yeah, mall stores. Yeah. Newbury Comics, though, that was a trip because we walked in there. I dropped some money, but one of the employees had to walk a dude through buying comics, and that was like. I'm so ingrained in that culture now, like I know how it works, but it was like, yeah, they come out every week. It's like every week. And she's like, yeah, you don't have to buy them all, but there's new books that come out every week. But also, I feel like real books come out every week. Like that's not a,
Yeah.
It's not an unheard of convention. Yeah.
Generally, authors get books published, and generally
those
get released on.
There's like physical media is usually released weekly, or new albums, new movies.
It's not like you have to have your book done before the book fairy comes in and does the book collection.
Yeah, it's not like Marvel puts out one comic book a month,
Yeah. I
wish they did. Would save me some money. Yeah, but yeah, it's also like people trying to buy comic books in 2021 is a trip. It just yeah, I feel bad. Yeah, real books come out a week. We generally don't get large shipments of a shared universe weekly. That's valid, but like, yeah, it's just like, just the way he said every week is like, dude, you don't have to come back and buy them all every week. You can just be Spider-Man just buy Spider-Man and be okay. Speaking of which, Spider-Verse Across the Spider-Verse Part 1, yes please.
Oh my god, I am so fucking. I was already like. On a Spider-Man kick.
Right.
And like, how do you get me even more hype? Well, that.
Yeah. I'm still kind of like, I'm not exactly not hype, but I'm not exactly like fucking foaming at the mouth for Spider-Man never going home again.
I'm interested in seeing where it goes, because I'm like,
yeah.
Because it's either going to be one of two things. It's either going to be everything that we're anticipating it to be, or they're gonna do like a motherfucking bait and switch of the millennium.
Well, I mean, yeah, right, because it's like, oh, it's Spider-Man in the multiverse, and I was like, we already got a Spider-Man in a multiverse movie, and it was very good, and like, okay, so it was what, Spider-Man Homecomings, and Spider-Man Far From Home, right?
Yeah.
And that came out 6 months after Spider-Verse, which pound for pound is the best superhero movie.
Yeah, I mean both.
And now, yeah.
Oh, yeah, keep going. Sorry, my bad.
And now we're like, it's all then like it's funny because like after Far From Home, the MCU hasn't had a lot of things come out. Like we had what a year off more or less.
We had a lot of not really movies, but more a ton of TV.
Right, but now we've had like Black Widow, It's only been like 4 movies since the last one, because now it's what we had: Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, and now another Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So like oh, another one of those. Okay.
It feels really quick, but also at the same time, like, if done, like, I have faith in, just because I really love Homecoming and Far From Home. Like, they're both really good films, and they're both like actually
really like Homecoming.
Funny. Yeah, I loved Homecoming.
Yeah, Homecoming was like fucking that good classic Spidey. Far From Home, I don't know, just, like, it was fine.
I definitely think the Spider-Man segments of it are, like, while still being good, are definitely the weaker parts of it. Right. I think the movie works as both like a vacation, like, Ned is my favorite part of that entire movie.
Right. Yeah, like, that was very good. And Mysterio, like, fucking Jake Gyllenhaal's an amazing actor, so like him as Mysterio, rules. It's
like, it's so fucking good. And again, it was like it was a perfect way of leading us to think one thing, playing on our expectations, and then delivering the best turnaround of that character.
I think that's it, because like this is the second time we've got a multiverse tease, you know?
Yeah.
And it was bait switch the first time, that was cool. Now it's not. It's gonna be the actual multiverse because Doctor Strange shenanigans.
Yeah. And it's like, you know, listen, if we can actually get a third good Spider-Man movie, this I think is our best shot at it.
Yeah, it's also like, because like, okay, we have the OG trilogy, which has 2 good Spider-Man movies and Spider-Man 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had Amazing Spider-Man, which the less said the better.
Uh-huh.
And now we have this one, which could probably be, I don't know, like Homecoming, amazing. Far From Home, good, but nothing groundbreaking. And then this one is either going to be a fucking amazing spectacle, no pun intended, or just a fucking mess.
I feel like if the MCU Spider-Man was going to do something like the Sinister Six, which is like what this movie is really shaping out to be, I feel like this is the best. I feel like you couldn't get that in a 1 foot grounded in reality Spider-Man universe.
No.
Like,
I mean,
this.
Yeah, like you also can't do a grounded Spider-Man story, you know?
Yeah. So the
character itself is.
Yeah.
Go on.
So I feel like if they're gonna like do the whole, hey, the laws of timey-wimey are fucked for the next year, do whatever the fuck you want, and then we're gonna make things normal again. I feel like this is the best time to do something like that.
This also, like, ultimately, these movies don't feel like Spider-Man movies; they feel like Marvel team-up movies, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because like, the first one was Spider-Man, Iron Man. This one was Spider-Man, and this is Spider-Man Nick Fury. And this was to be Spider-Man Doc Strange.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also like. Where do you? So what's your take? You think we're getting cameos by Maguire and Garfield, or
no? They're either gonna be in it, or they're gonna be archival footage. I think we're gonna. I think we're gonna get them for maybe 5. Maybe like little hints, and then a whole lot of in Spider-Man costume. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we got something like archival footage of them, and then a Spider-Man that doesn't take their mask off.
Yeah, like, I generally don't think Marvel's like. I think what we're getting is going to be what we're getting, you know?
Yeah.
Because like, if they're going to imply those movies aren't like some kind of like weird canon, it's the same thing with what's his face, Quicksilver showing up in WandaVision.
Yeah, I'm like, we could get another thing like that.
Yeah.
So I'm
right. Also, like 9 out of 10 times the fan theories have been wrong.
Yeah.
And or Mephisto.
Yeah, I mean, we also like. There's also ways that it could go at the end. That could be interesting. I have enough faith in them to. At least I think it's gonna be interesting. But I'm trying not to hold a lot of expectations and like perceived notions of what it could be. I kind of just want to let it happen, and we'll see.
Yeah, I got it. I still don't have tickets for that. I know. Was that the 16th?
I grabbed mine.
Yeah, I have I have D&D at OS that's Saturday, and then that Sunday we have D&D at our channel. So I don't know when I'll see it. I want to.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
thankfully, me and Trevor are pretty good about not spoiling.
Oh
shit.
yeah, I mean, like I know you two are fine, but like I don't trust Twitter. I don't trust.
Which is why I'm going ASAP.
Yeah, I mean, I also don't like. I also know fucking the minute. It's global, right? All the same day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because like I know if it's showed anywhere else outside of America, it would be like I would have either because like fucking shit for WandaVision got spoiled to me via email.
Really?
Yeah. Because like
man.
someone comic, yeah, it's just like mutant ties to WandaVision in this week's episode. I was like, buddy, it's 8 a.m. on Wednesday. Why?
People were spoiling that at like fucking 4 a.m. the day it dropped. Like,
yeah, what's what I kind of like about Hawkeye is that Hawkeye is like so grounded. It's just a dude in his murder suit. Like there is no greater like MCU fucking connotation. It's just Hawkeye. Yeah.
Oh my god, I remember that. My favorite thing about seeing Endgame with Trevor was we went to the Alamo in Yonkers. We got front row seats. We're sitting directly in the fucking middle, and every time a movie at the Alamo starts up, the manager that day will come up and basically go get a microphone and be like, "Okay, I know we're all excited for this. Just be sure to take your card, put your order down, and be sure to tip. The people here are working really hard for you. Thank you very much and enjoy the film." He comes up and goes, "All right, I know we're excited for this." Trevor is sitting about as close as I am to my microphone right now to this guy, and just goes, "Yeah!" And the guy like takes like half a step back because we had been pre-gaming before the movie. And as soon as the guy like finished up and walked away, and the coming attraction started up, Trevor just fucking screams out in the air, "All right, Thanos, get that big purple booty on up in here. Clap them cheeks."
It was funny. I was in Seattle when Endgame dropped, and I was meeting Jen for drinks like that Thursday, and I had like kind of forgotten that Endgame was coming out because I bought tickets so Carrie and I could go see it that Saturday. I mean, that Friday rather. And like I got off the train the bus to transfer, and there were like 8 people in Avengers costumes in like middle of Seattle. I was like, why are there cosplayers? I was like, oh right, the movie.
God,
which is why I don't go to Manhattan for any midnight openings anymore.
Back to a simpler time when we can all just envision Ant-Man going up Thanos' ass and exploding out.
Right, how it should have ended with a car. Yeah, Tony Stark had to die instead of ask for or whatever you would call that. I also don't want, if you know what that is actually called, do not tell me. I'm better off not knowing this knowledge.
I don't know that offhand. I'm sure it exists, but
I'll ask Manifest 21 see if they know.
I will say though, the thing I like about the new Spider-Man movies is I like that all of the villains, for at least now, have been grounded in reality.
Yes.
And
yes. Also not. Yeah.
Grounded in reality, and all of them are byproducts, much like how Spider-Man in this MCU is a byproduct of Tony Stark. All of the villains are byproducts of Tony Stark as well. I think that is an extremely good touch.
See, I don't like that because it kind of takes away some Spider-Man's agency, where I like Spider-Man villains being old men and Spider-Man being a child, so it's youth versus old.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like, the problem is, like, the best villain was still Spider-Man 2.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
which I'm glad he's coming back. I'm glad I'm like, no, we're just gonna bring him back. I'm like, that makes sense.
Yeah, because he's the best. Like, you get him, you get Willem Dafoe fucking chewing the scenery, which, oh my god, like, my favorite thing about Spider-Man 1 was, like, Kirsten Dunst is overacting in every single fucking scene that she's in to an almost unbearable degree. And the only reason why no one noticed is because she would overact in a fucking scene, and then Willem Dafoe would bust down the door
in his bad Power Rangers costume.
fucking like I'm like whoever cast those two movies, give them every Emmy that's coming out like retroactively, and then fire whoever fucking got Topher fucking Grace for Eddie Brock and Venom.
That's what happens when Sam Raimi doesn't want you in your movie.
Just remember, we saw so Spider-Man 3 came out the day so the only film class I've ever taken in my entire life, it was like film 202, and it ended with everyone in the class submitting a treatment for a short movie, like a 5 to 10 minute long thing.
Right.
And people, like 5 people would get their scripts picked. Mine, for some reason, got picked. Mine was, and this is how you can tell it's fucking 2006. I literally wrote a treatment based on the fucking and-hero story of the guy who got his iPod stolen from fucking 4chan, if you want to, like, date the hell out of everything.
Right.
And I basically wrote it as a script about basically a guy gathering people at a party to help try and get it back. I had no idea what the hell I was doing, but I was friends with some very good creative people like our buddy Jared, who helped me make this thing actually pretty fucking funny.
It's like, I like Rich commenting when Alfred Molina is a fucking witch, which good comment. And then Trevor, no one also noticing because she was blasted nips.
Those nips were all over the place in that movie. What the fuck? And yeah, Alfred Molina still, like, to this day, like, literally stopped aging after Spider-Man 2. Like,
right.
fucking hell.
He's been dead the whole time.
So we each did our film, and I went to a Jesuit college. So our teacher in that class was a priest, and he did not. We still got a good grade in it, but I don't think he was expecting the movie we ended up making. To give you an example, I put the Mortal Kombat theme song for a very well choreographed fight for a movie we were basically just fucking around with.
I mean, first off, that first Mortal Kombat is the best Mortal Kombat movie. That's all I got.
He was not a particular fan of me or Jared. So we kind of got weird. We got like a okay, that's we picked you because we needed something humor based, and I'm like, okay, that's like a weird backhanded compliment, but whatever. So we have our rap party for that, and Spider-Man 3 dropped, so we all went out to go see it. And this is all a reminder that 2006 Tom was not a good person. We're watching it, and the scene where Mary Jane gets backhanded, I just instinctively clapped. And who is sitting 2 rows in front of us but my teacher from there decided to go see that particular movie as well. So yeah, I pretty much couldn't take another film class there again, because I never wanted to interact with that guy again, nor did I think I would ever get any decent grade in any film class ever. So, but fuck him, I got a job in new media, suck my dick. But yeah, 3 could have been such a good movie. And oh yeah, so the rest of the movie comes out, and it's just like, it reaches the point where everything sucks, and like the entire audience is just dead. And then we just have the scene where Topher Grace as Venom grabs the pumpkin bomb and blows himself up, and Jared, in the best Red Foreman impression I've ever heard in my life, goes, "Dumbass!" And I couldn't like, I almost fell out of my chair laughing. A line he
Yeah,
promptly
where is the Spider-Man 3 that 70s show mashup cut, please?
A line he promptly repeated when we saw Black Klansman in a very similar role with Topher Grace playing David Duke.
Topher Grace. Poor Eric Foreman.
I actually watched a video recently about it was a nice video essay about like when jumping the shark and when to end the series, and apparently Topher Grace kind of didn't like that they like the writers of that 70s show were writing Eric to be like stupid as the show progressed. So he basically decided to just kind of leave mid-season because he wasn't a fan of where his character was going. So in turn, when the writers wrote him out of the show, they wrote his character to be the most like dickbag, jerk off character.
Right.
And then
they wrote him off to go to college, right, or some shit.
Yeah, like he did before going off to college. He dumped Donna via cell phone or via phone call, and went to Africa to search bones.
Bones.
Like, don't piss off the writers of similarly related, there's a great early 90s adventure game called Darkseed.
Darkside? Never know which one that is.
Darkseed. So Darkseed is a game by a company called Cyber Dreams, and it's a game where basically a guy gets an alien embryo implanted in his skull.
Gross.
And has to try and find a way to get it out. And the game is 2 hours in real time. If you don't beat it by that point, you will die. So
fun.
It's a point and click adventure game, but the main character of it is a man named Mike Dawson. And he is both named after and modeled. His character is like, they did like rotoscope animation of the lead programmer and designer of the game, Mike Dawson. So basically he like played himself as the main character. After that game came out, he had very big disagreements with the other people in the company and basically quit, gave them the finger and quit. So Cyber Dreams decided to have a Darkseid 2. And you may be asking, how can you have Mike Dawson in a game when the real Mike Dawson quit? Like, how are you going to make this work? Are you going to have another character be the main character of it? No, because Cyber Dreams still owned the rights to the character Mike Dawson, the character, who happened to look and sound exactly like Mike Dawson, the programmer. So they hired an actor who looked exactly like him and wrote him to be the biggest fucking joke, where literally he is the main character in a town where everyone, like, he basically like got fired from his job, got dumped by the girl, by the connection he made at the end of Darkseid 1, had to move back home in with his parents. He found out that his ex-girlfriend fucked everyone in town and called him a loser.
He's Dante.
Yeah, like they were fucking merciless to this guy, and like they could get away with it because they owned the, like, when he left the company, he didn't ask for the rights to the character who happened to look and sound and have his name and look exactly like him. So basically they got to fuck around with this guy for like for the entirety of this like 20-hour game where you play as the biggest loser of all time. Like, the series is great. I actually found out about it through Slowbee fucking ages ago. Darkseid 1 is a really great game. Darkseid 2 was a great game to make fun of.
That checks.
Yeah. They ended up being the same people who ended up doing that I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream point and click adventure game on PC.
Okay.
That I still think is one of the best examples of like adaptation of a book, primarily because when they decided to make it, Harlan Ellison's one request was that the game not be beatable.
Petty, but I'm into it, honestly.
And he's like, yeah, my book is a very nihilistic book, so if you're making an adaptation about it, you shouldn't be able to beat it. It's like every path should be a dead end at the end, and they're like, we have to make a game actually beatable for people to enjoy it. So he's like, okay, you can do it, but it has to be like this most esoteric as shit way to actually like get the ending.
That's insane.
It's one that I wouldn't mind actually playing at some point on Snark. I would like to play it, but it also has a lot. It's one that like I would probably have to have a talk with the guys about it because it has some very heavy shit in it.
Ooh, oh, right, yeah. I could see.
Especially like for people who have read the source material, it's like, yeah, it's one I'd love to do because but it's a rough game, but I still love it.
That's wild. I've never. Yeah, that would be. We gotta figure out. Maybe that a YouTube thing or something like that.
Might be a good idea.
It may be easier to like, if there's some risque material, we at least give like proper warnings and not catch anyone off guard. Yeah.
Yeah, like we would have to like the game. Let me put it this way: part of the game takes place in 1944 Berlin with a character called Mengele.
Right. It's also a PC game from like what you said, like 93, 92,
something like that.
Yeah. So like that. I mean. I could see it being like problematic without it being like bannable, but something, I think something we have to like figure out. Okay, what's going,
I would
95.
Show, okay. I would show you guys because there are long plays of people who just like do a full run through of it.
Right.
I would send that to you guys and like point out the areas of concern.
Yeah, I think just like I think that'd be a YouTube thing, just because like like us playing it, you playing and us like react to it on YouTube, just because like if there's anything super dodgy, we could be like warning here,
It's definitely one where if we did it on stream, I would physically have like a warning like label on the bottom.
Did you I'm not sure if you heard on Sunday about there's finally like arachnophobia warnings in certain games.
Really?
Yeah. So I uploaded I got Avengers as an early Christmas gift, and they're like on the main thing, it's like may cause seizures, blah blah blah. But they're like, as of the War for Wakanda DLC, there are mechanical spiders, so anyone with arachnophobia may not want to play this.
Oh, that's actually really nice.
Yeah, because like someone who's played Warcraft and Diablos 2 and 3 in the last calendar year, ain't that shit, and anyone with that shit in those games.
Oh, not only like do they have spiders, but they have like the most terrifying spider sound effects as well.
Yeah. Oh, they're not great. They're not great.
Yeah, Rich. So they limited run games actually found sealed copies of the game in Harlan. Basically, like they found like a stash of these games that had never been sold and were selling them, and I argued really hard with myself to get it because it was like $200 for this really nice collector's edition. But I also Endwalker pre-order came out that week, and I had to make a choice between the two of them.
I really need to pull the trigger on a limited run thing because like they do some really cool shit, and I have not bought any of their crap.
They're great. They
I know they work with Jeremy Parrish. Jeremy Parrish works with them, who's like one of my favorite former IGN folk.
Mm-hmm. Let me see if I can find the collector's edition of this.
Oh, they have an Amazon store. That's cool. Okay, I think we need to end the show on this news. So I just went on the limited run Amazon store for a mere $55. Thomas, we could buy a copy of Jay and Silent Bob's Marlboro Arcade Edition. There's a limited run of 420 copies.
Oh, fucking perfect.
That is
what a way to end on. What a way to end on brand.
Listen, we talked about Kevin Smith once the hour, every hour, so like we're good. We're still a Kevin Smith podcast.
He-Man is fun. You should watch it if you get
He-Man
the chance.
good. Yeah. He-Man good. It's like it's 10, 22 episodes. 10, 22 episodes, meaning you can finish it in like 3 hours or so. Highly recommend it.
There's a big bitch with some good abs, and that alone should be pushing you to watch this.
Yes. Yeah, the incels are real mad, so you should definitely watch it.
Yeah.
What are we doing tomorrow night? Oh, it's Trevor with a mystery game, right?
Yes, I believe.
Yes. And then you're back on Thursday, aren't you, with Raven?
Ray is hosting it, I believe, but I should be.
Yes.
We should be doing commentary on the Game Awards.
The Jeff Awards.
Thankfully Jeff decided to do the right thing and actually comment on and condemn Blizzard's. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know who's you know who's on the Game Awards advisors list though, right? Board rather. Yeah. Yep. So yeah. So Jeff talks big mouth, but doesn't actually, Yeah.
something ethical consumption under capitalism. Something.
If those devs put Jeff in one of their games, he would have said more. It's like, what's up?
Among Us did.
No, I mean Blizzard. Because remember that one time, Konami was mean to Kojima, and he flipped the shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
I mean, Among Us devs literally put Jeff in.
That's different though. That's also like a Twitch sponsored thing.
True.
That was a Jeff Mask, which is but also like I have no beef with the Among Us people. They're like 6 people.
Oh yeah, they're great.
Or
they're
like 9 people. Yeah, no, it's like Blizzard sucks, and Jeff being like, "Oh, they don't have much of a presence at the game show this year." Almost like Bobby Kotick's on your board of directors. Also, like that's because every Blizzard game is delayed to like 20 whatever, and Call of Duty just came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Trevor's gonna do a little flip on tomorrow. What you flipping? What's being flipped and dipped? If you want to keep it a secret till tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah, because we have no idea what you're doing tomorrow, one way or another.
I ended up like sleeping half of Sunday, and did not get the chance to make a schedule for this week. So
that's fine. Yeah. It's the holidays. Things are getting a little hectic as I drop another piece again, but yeah, it's fine. Well, yeah, we'll wind down from a pretty good year.
This has been one of our most fun years, I think.
I think it was cool getting outside the wheelhouse and doing more non-gaming stuff. Well, sorry, non-video game stuff, because like tabletop is still gaming.
Yeah, honestly, even like a podcast like this where we kind of didn't come in with the plan and just kind of shot the shit for 3 hours. I have fun.
That's not true. We shot the shit for 2 hours. Talked about He-Man for an hour. So
true.
Oh, Trevor's gonna do some just chatting tomorrow. You know what? If anyone's suited for just chatting, it's Trevor.
Tune in tomorrow for Henny Talk.
Henergy.
I would love to see just like literally a spoof of like the Coffee Talk segments, just Henny Talk.
I mean,
anything you want.
That's Trevor's interest. Anything you want, that's the way you need it. Henny time. You want to put this on the bed?
I think we should put this one to bed. Let's see who is
we got what the producer of my D&D show at OS, Brett Crystal's playing that. Cold Duty though. PA Masters doing 14. Rand's doing NBA 2K. Oh, Magfest guest Mega Rand's doing NBA 2K22. Faith in the Glitch is doing some music.
I'm gonna actually throw it to one of the otakus with attitude, because we had them pop in earlier talking about some good glizzies. We're gonna throw a raid over to DJ Awesomus Prime.
Oh shit! Yeah, that sounds fun.
Let's make sure I spelled that right.
Oh, damn, a lot of friends are on the streaming app tonight.
Yep, they're currently on follower or sub only chat, but he is awesome people. I had a long talk with him at the Anime NYC event, and yeah. So when you get in, show him a bit of love, care of us. I'll be back tomorrow.
Tom's back Thursday. I'll be back. I think Sunday night I should be good to do some Among. I'm going to PAX this weekend, so I think you're just getting Among next week from Chris, and then D&D and Silent Bob and Xmas stuff.
Yep, gonna be a fun time. All right, be good to one another. Fuck cops. We'll see y'all later.
Translate rights are human rights.
Amen.
We love you.
All right, raid went through.
Oh my god.